Welcome to Chinese Novel Audiobook. Chapter 61. Return the egg to me, Niu Longjiao egg. What is this? Ling Ju reached out and picked up the dome, a look of doubt flashed in his eyes. If I remember correctly, the Titan Violent Ape just seemed to be holding it. Titan Violent Ape is a Tier 5 fierce beast, what does it do with a stone? Rock. It really looks like a stone. This lord. Just when Ling Ju was about to check the dome, Yonggan rushed over and said with a smile, "This lord, I'm really sorry, we just accidentally dropped things here." As he said, he pointed to the giant egg in Ling Ju's hand. The meaning was self-evident. The giant egg in Ling Ju's hand was exactly what he dropped. He hoped that Ling Ju could return it to him. Your things. Ling Ju dispersed the osmium on his body, revealing his original face. Yonggan couldn't help being surprised when he saw this. Why, how are you? It's him. Isn't he the captain of Pangu? God. He is so strong. The Vulcan team members who rushed over were also stunned. They had just confronted the Titan Violent Ape without falling into the wind, and the 5th level ability who finally killed the Titan Violent Ape was Ling Ju. This joke is a bit big. Ling Ju ignored the shock of the Vulcan players, but played with the dome in his hand. You said this thing belongs to you, do you have any evidence? Evidence. Yang dared to come back to his senses, but didn't smile. Captain Ling didn't know something. We just walked in a hurry and accidentally dropped it, but it is indeed mine, and my team members can testify. Captain Ling, this thing is indeed ours, we can testify. Vulcan players all spoke up. This is something worth tens of billions, and it must be brought back anyway. So, you don't have any evidence to prove that it belongs to you. Ling Ju's mouth is slightly tilted. This. Yang Gan's tone choked. Evidence. Fart evidence. They stole this thing from Black Dragon Pond, and they threw it to the Titan Storm Ape before they got it in their hands. What evidence is there? There is no way without evidence. Ling Ju shook his head. If I remember correctly, this thing seems to belong to the Titan Violent Ape, and if I killed the Titan Violent Ape, it is naturally my trophy. After finishing speaking, Ling Ju turned around and was about to leave. Yonggan was anxious and stopped in front of Ling Ju. It's mine. Give me back the things. Your. Ling Ju looked at Yonggan coldly. Since it is yours, then tell me, why is it in the hands of Titan Storm Ape? Yonggan was suddenly speechless. Can't tell. Ling Ju snorted coldly. Then get out, don't get in the way. Ling Ju. Yang dared to growl. Give it back to me, otherwise, I will tell you. Boom. Before he finished speaking, a terrible gravity suddenly pressed down. Unprepared, Yonggan was directly crushed on the ground. You dare to threaten me? Ling Ju said coldly. What are you? Damn it. Yang dared to be embarrassed and angry, and tried to stand up with all his strength, but the gravity on his body was like Taishan. No matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't straighten up. Team Ling, raise your hands high. A member of Vulcan hurriedly said. We don't need things, please let Captain Yang go. Team Ling, for the sake of everyone in the same base city. The other team members begged for mercy, and they suddenly woke up. This is an uninhabited wilderness area. Even if Ling Ju kills them, there is no evidence that they are dead, and they are dead for nothing. The dome is precious, but fate. The price is higher. Only this time, not for example. Ling Ju gave a cold snort and left directly. Yonggan sat down on the ground, panting heavily, eyes full of anger, unwillingness, humiliation, hatred, anger. Ling Ju. Yang dared to squeeze his fists, his eyes were filled with infinite anger. What I can't get, you never want to take it away. The maglev motorcycle turned on the automatic flight function and flew slowly towards Longchen town. Ling Ju checked the information given by the microcomputer, and he was plunged into indescribable excitement. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be such a thing. No wonder the fierce beast will attack the Vulcan team. No wonder Yonggan, who would rather offend me and get this thing. It is really. Ling Ju was very excited. He thought it was a simple rescue operation, but he didn't expect that there would be such a harvest. This dome is a good thing worth tens of billions. Here comes the question. What is the dome? Microcomputer gave an explanation. The eggs of the iron-clad sacred ox, the eggs of the 7th order fierce beast, the iron-clad sulkai, can breed new iron-clad OXS. The price, 30 billion per serving. Iron-armored ox dragon flood dragon, Tier 7 Fierce Beast, powerful, unparalleled in defense, and possesses the ability of the ice system, belongs to the best of the 7th Fierce Beast. Who would have thought that this plain stone is actually the 7th Order Fierce Beast, the egg of the iron-armored ox dragon flood? That is the 7th Order Fierce Beast. Ling Ju is very excited. www.mtlnovel.com. According to the market, a Tier 7 Fierce Beast corpse can sell billions, and so many dead animals can be sold. What's more, the eggs of a Tier 7 Fierce Beast. It will only be more expensive and outrageous. Because the value of eggs is greater. The 7th Order Fierce Beast is also known as the Lord of the Fierce Beast. Every 7th Order Fierce Beast has a large number of fierce beasts under his command, just like the Lord and Noble among humans. That's why the Lord of the Beast gets his name. Therefore, every 7th Order Fierce Beast is synonymous with powerful and terrifying. If you can tame a Tier 7 Fierce Beast, you will not only get a powerful combat partner, but also an army of fierce beasts. It's a pity that Tier 7 Fierce Beasts are too fierce to tame. The Fierce Beast egg is different, the fierce beast it hatches can be tamed. As long as it is properly conceived, this dome can hatch a new iron-armored ox dragon flood, and in just a dozen years, the iron-armored ox dragon flood can grow to its peak state and become a powerful 7th Order beast. The 7th Order Fierce Beast. Ling Ju's eyes flickered with a different light. There are not many level 7 ability players like the entire Chang'an base city that can compete with the level 7 Fierce Beast. Not to mention that the 7th Order Fierce Beast is still the Lord of Fierce Beasts, and has the ability to form a huge army of beasts. So, if this dome is put up for auction, it will definitely be sold at a sky-high price. I really don't know how the Vulcan group stole this egg from the nest of the iron-clad ox dragon flood. Is it asleep? Ling Ju whispered to himself, but these are obviously not the point. The point is that this egg is in his hands now, that's enough. So, keep it. Or sell it. Chapter 62. Sell the dome is second. Sell. Keep it. Ling Ju didn't think much about it, so he decided to sell this iron-clad ox and dragon egg. It would take decades for this thing to grow to its peak. Over 10 years. Too slow. Ling Ju can't wait that long. That night, Ling Ju returned to the base city overnight and found Luo Jia. Ling Ju, didn't you go on the mission? How come you were in the base city? Luo Jia was surprised at Ling Ju's sudden appearance. I just got a good thing, so I came back overnight. Ling Ju didn't talk nonsense, and took out the iron-clad ox dragon fish's egg directly. Luo Jia was stunned, and said in doubt, Ling Ju, what is this? Iron-armored ox, dragon egg. Iron-armored ox dragon jiao, egg. Luo Jiao's body shook slightly, and couldn't help but breathe in a cold breath. Isn't the iron-armored ox dragon flood dragon lord of the 7th tier beast? How did you get its eggs? Ling Ju told the story again, and Luo Jia's eyes flashed with brilliance. It seems that the Vulcan gang must have stolen the egg, but they were afraid of the titans and violent apes, and they gave the egg out again, and in the end they made you for nothing. I think so too. Ling Ju smiled slightly. The iron-clad ox dragon fish lives in Heilongtan, a few hundred kilometers away from Mopen Bay. This egg must have been stolen. Of course, these are not the points. Luo Jia's gaze fell on the iron-clad ox dragon egg again. The point is this egg. Are you planning to sell it to the company? If the price is fair, it must be sold to the company. Ling Ju said. Luo Jia took out a microcomputer to check it, and then said, according to the market price, this thing is worth 30 billion. If you put it for auction, you should be able to sell 2 or 3 billion more. If you sell it to the company, I can only give you 30 billion. No contribution points. Ling Ju frowned slightly. Although the iron-clad ox dragon fish eggs are invaluable, they are not treasures of heaven and earth after all, and cannot be counted as special contributions. Luo Jia explained. She personally hopes that the company can buy this iron-clad cow dragon egg, but the company has company rules, and items that are not special contributions cannot be given contribution points. As a manager, she cannot violate the company's rules. But, Luo Jia's conversation changed. Although it cannot be sold to the company has a special trading channel. I can help you hang the iron-armored cow dragon egg on the trading channel. You can trade with other powers of the company. I believe someone can give you a satisfactory price. Can this happen? Why haven't you heard of it before? Ling Ju asked in confusion. From the perspective of company managers, I naturally hope that you can trade with the company instead of privately. I hope you can understand. Luo Jia explained with a smile. Okay. Later, Luo Jia opened the trading channel, hung up the iron-armored bull dragon, and attached the price code given by Ling Ju, 30 billion plus 300 contribution points. To be honest, the price is a bit high, but Penghu has never lacked local tyrants. I believe there will be news soon. Luo Jia smiled and comforted Ling Ju. Unexpectedly, before she could finish her words, the microcomputer rang. Luo Jilian looked at the computer and then smiled. Look, just as soon as I hung it up, I was killed. So fast. Ling Ju was a little surprised. Okay. Luo Jia turned the computer around, and Ling Ju took a closer look, and the iron-clad ox dragon fished egg was indeed stunned. The buyer was named I Tianfan. I Tianfan. The last name is I. Ling Ju raised his eyebrows. It's not the I family in Chang'an base city, right? Luo Jia smiled and nodded. You guessed it, I Tianfan is the I family in Chang'an base city, and he is also the general manager of our Penghu branch in Chang'an base city, a higher level than me. So it was him. Ling Ju nodded slightly and clicked on I Tianfan's avatar at random. Some information about I Tianfan suddenly popped up on the screen. I Tianfan. Male, 47 years old. I Yuhei. Ling Ju was taken aback. Is he I Yuhei's father? Do you know I Yuhei? Luo Jia was a little surprised, and nodded. This little girl is just 18 years old this year, and she is a rare dual-line genius. One of the powers seems to be a space-based power, and the other power is currently unknown. It is said that this little girl is the most talented among the younger generation of the I family. She has been fully cultivated by the I family, and should be at least a level 4 ability person. Meet her. A strange color flashed in Ling Ju's eyes, and he asked calmly, with her talent, it should be okay to enter the super training camp, right? That's natural. Luo Jia slightly nodded, and suddenly looked at Ling Ju meaningfully, and joked. Ling Ju, do you have any thoughts about this I Yuhei? Ling Ju was stunned, and immediately laughed, whereas Mr. Luo said, I only met with her once, and I can't talk about any thoughts. Is it? Luo Jia chuckled. It doesn't matter if you really have any thoughts. As the so-called fair lady, gentleman is so charming, a girl like her with a good family background and talent is indeed a perfect match. Be confident. If you like, you can boldly chase after her. You are worthy of her. Let's talk about this. Ling Ju changed the subject and said, Mr. Luo, there is one more thing I want to ask you for help. What's up? Luo Jia raised his eyebrows. I want to rent the company's space bag. Ling Ju smiled and said, I guess that this operation will kill a lot of fierce beasts. The space bag may not be enough, so. This is no problem, how much do you want? Top space bags, come 20. Yes. By the way, to remind you, I Tianfan just sent a message, he will send someone to Lanshan base city to trade with you, I hope you are ready. I see. Holding the rented space bag, www.mtlnovel.com, Ling Ju didn't even return home, so he drove directly to Longchen town. He was on a mission now, so it was not convenient to go home. More than an hour later, Ling Ju rushed to Longchen town, and then slaughtered the beasts around Longchen town with the team members. 2 days later, all the beasts within 100 miles of Longchen town were slaughtered. In the evening, everyone sat on the roof of an abandoned building, eating barbecue, drinking beer, and enjoying a rare relaxing time. Team Ling, come, have some grilled chicken wings. Team Ling, I toast you a drink. Team Ling, don't forget your brothers when you get developed in the future. How do you say that, dog? Dog. Go rich, don't forget each other. Yes, you are rich, don't forget each other. Eat yours. No words for a night. Early the next morning, the government's maglev airship arrived at Longchen town on time. Command Shu, are the other teams? Ling Ju looked at the empty airship, and couldn't help asking, apart from them, there were not many people on the airship, so Shu commanded and a few government superstars. Your speed is the fastest, the other teams haven't contacted us yet. Commander Shu explained with a smile. Take a break, when the people are all there, let's go to Mizi town together to clean up the tier 5 fierce beast group. Don't wait. Ling Ju waved his hand. Go directly to Mizi town. Captain Ling, this is not so good. Command Shu frowned slightly. The tier 5 fierce beasts entrenched in Mizi town, Not only the number of fierce beasts is exaggerated, but the strength is very terrifying. According to our investigation, Mizi town has 3 Tier 5 fierce beasts, 41 Tier 4 fierce beasts, and countless other Tier 1, 2 and 3 fierce beasts, depending on you. Chapter 63. Long-legged bamboo worm, super chestnut. Xu Yuanwei rejected Ling Ju's request. He has read the information of Ling Ju and others and knows their strength. Although he was surprised that Ling Ju had become a level 4 ability at the age of 16, he never thought that Ling Ju could kill a Tier 5 fierce beast. 4th level ability person. Tier 5 fierce beast. Is not at the same level at all. Not to mention that there are not only 1 Tier 5 fierce beasts entrenched in Mizi town, but 3, in addition to 41 Tier 4 fierce beasts and countless Tier 2 and 3 fierce beasts. How can such a terrifying group of beasts be destroyed by Ling Ju and other 11 people? But it couldn't be more tough than Ling Ju. Xu Yuanwei finally ordered the maglev airship to Mizi town. Ling Ju didn't talk nonsense, and landed in a bamboo forest in Mizi town. Bamboo forest. The bamboo forest in front of me is completely different from the bamboo forest in Ling Ju's memory. The bamboo should be thin and long, but the bamboo in this bamboo forest is thick and long. The thickest and thickest bamboo grows on the ground, just like towering tall trees with a thick layer of fallen leaves. Obviously, this bamboo forest has also evolved. Unexpectedly, in just 30 years, this bamboo forest would have grown like this. Zhou Dun looked at the bamboo forest and sighed. Zhou Dun, have you been here before? Huang Heilong asked with a smile. I am a native of Mizi town. Zhou Dun explained. 30 years ago, when the beasts had not yet invaded, my childhood was spent in Mizi town. At that time, in order to prevent soil erosion and protect the ecological environment, the government planted more than 6,000 acres of bamboo forests, 8,600 acres of chestnut forests, and 2,500 acres of mulberry trees on both sides of the Wen River. At that time, we dig bamboo shoots in spring, eat mulberry apricots in summer, and chestnuts in winter, and we had a relaxed and happy day. It's a pity that when I was 7 years old, the beasts invaded and everything changed. The whole town was moved away, and I also left Mizi town where I grew up. Unexpectedly, this trip will last 30 years. When I return to my hometown again, I have changed from a child to a greasy uncle, sorry. Everyone nodded their heads, fully understanding Zhou Dun's feelings. They were all in their 30s and had exactly the same experience as Zhou Dun. Shoo. Just when everyone was feeling deeply moved, there was a sharp sound of breaking through the air, and a sharp bamboo came up from the ground and fell from the sky. This bamboo has thick thighs for adults, and the roots are very sharp. It stabs Meng Lijun like a spear. Puff. The bamboo spear pierced Meng Lijun's shoulder instantly, pierced Meng Lijun, and then slammed into the ground. Lead the army. Chen Feng yelled, took out the sword behind his back and slashed it down. With a click, the bamboo was instantly chopped into 2, shooting out dark green blood. Gu. A harsh scream came from the top of their heads. When everyone looked up, there was a huge, 10-meter-long bamboo pole with an adult hug horizontally. Bamboo pole. Screaming. This scene is somewhat frightening. Not good. It's a long-legged stick insect. Huang Heilong shouted. Attention everyone, it's a long-legged stick insect. Long-legged stick insects. Ling Ju couldn't help but look at it a few more times. Just looking at the appearance, this long-legged stick insect is no different from the bamboo pole, the color of the bamboo pole, the shape of the bamboo pole. If it stands still, or does not make any movement, it is almost exactly the same as the surrounding bamboo, and it cannot be distinguished at all. Lao Meng, how are you? Chen Feng asked with concern. I'm fine. Meng Lijun endured the severe pain and pulled out the bamboo spear inserted into his shoulder, and then the tungsten steel was alloyed. He can transform into this state to heal the damage when the injury is not serious. This is also his ability. You dare to hurt me and die for me. Meng Lijun, who was transformed into an alloy giant, was completely enraged. He leapt high and hit the long-legged stick insect with a punch. Crack. Meng Lijun's fist penetrated the long-legged stick insect's body, and a large amount of dark green blood shot out. Gu. The long-legged stick insect screamed again and again, waving the remaining 5 long legs, and stabbing Meng Lijun frantically. It's a pity that Meng Lijun in this state is extremely hard. The bamboo spear pierced on his body, only a burst of sparks could be splashed. Meng Lijun made several punches in succession, and all the long legs of the 5 bamboo spears were broken. The long-legged stick insects screamed and then smashed to the ground from the air. Dead. Meng Lijun aimed at its head, then punched and headshot. The long-legged stick insect struggled a few times and stopped moving. Be careful, everyone, there should be more than one long-legged stick insect in this bamboo forest. Huang Heilong reminded loudly. The long-legged stick insects are not high-level, they are only second-order fierce beasts, but they are hidden in the bamboo forest. They are perfectly invisible and quite threatening. If they are not careful, they will be strung together like Meng Lijun. Don't be so troublesome. Ling Ju said lightly. 8 times the gravity enveloped a radius of 100 meters. Boom, boom. The sound of heavy objects falling to the ground sounded one after another. Everyone turned their heads and saw that bamboo poles fell to the ground. It was a bunch of long-legged stick insects. Team Ling, you really have you. Haha, even if the 8 times the gravity of the Ling team is the third-order fierce beast, it can't bear it, let alone the long-legged stick insect such a second-order fierce beast. Long-legged stick insects should be the second-order beasts most restrained by gravity. Haha, who made the legs of long-legged stick insects so long? Stop talking nonsense, kill it. Now that the long-legged stick insects were in shape, the threat of the long-legged stick insects was greatly reduced. Everyone took action, and the long-legged stick insects were killed. When and others crossed 5,000 acres of bamboo forest, when they came outside the bamboo forest, hundreds of long-legged stick insects died in everyone's hands. It's finally out. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, and then looked forward. Another forest appeared in front of them, and thick trees grew on the ground. All the trees look almost exactly the same. www.mtlnovel.com should also be artificially planted. The thick and tall trees are covered with watermelon-sized hairballs. What tree is this? Shi Hao asked in doubt. Everyone, we have a blessing. Zhou Dun licked his lips and said with a smile. Old Zhou, don't sell it, just say it. Bai Le couldn't help but urged. Didn't I tell you that 30 years ago, our town planted 8,600 acres of chestnut trees? Here, this forest is just in front of you. Zhou Dun smiled and said, but obviously, this chestnut leaf has evolved. Look, the chestnut they knot is so big as a watermelon. This is chestnut. I'm going. A chestnut the size of a watermelon. My daughter-in-law likes to eat fried chestnut the most, but there are very few in the market, and it is difficult to buy it if it is rich. The last time I ate chestnut was 2 years ago. The chestnuts on the market are all grown in organic greenhouses. Can it be compared with this evolved pure wild chestnut? Everyone, it's December, which happens to be the season to eat chestnuts. Would you like to get some back? Zhou Dun said with a smile. Of course. This is a good thing, since I have encountered it, of course I can't let it go. Do it. A group of people all went into the chestnut forest to pick chestnuts. Ling Ju also picked a good chestnut tree. The ground swelled under his feet, lifted him to a place where he could reach the chestnuts, and picked it slowly. It is December, and the chestnut has matured. After breaking the outer shell, a golden chestnut appeared in front of you. One bite hard, it is hard, sweet, and the taste is quite delicious. If you bring it back and stir-fry or stew it into a soup, it will taste better. Chapter 64, Super Spider Silk, Blood Feast Eating Soul. Huo passed through the chestnut forest, and the group left contentedly. Con 8 ZW. Ling Ju picked more. Chestnut itself is very expensive. This kind of super chestnut is a rare treasure. It can sell for hundreds of yuan per pound. If you let the hawkers in the base city know this chestnut forest, you will definitely be tempted to die. If you sell all the chestnuts in this chestnut forest, how much money will you make? It's a pity that they can't do without the base city. Even if they can leave the base city, they can't come here, and they will be eaten by the beast halfway. Afterwards, the group continued to hunt the beasts and soon came to a mulberry forest. The leaves of the mulberry tree are basically falling out, exposing the bare trunk, but the entire surface of the mulberry tree is covered with white spiders. Innumerable spiders are arrogant, covering and enveloping the entire mulberry forest, without seeing the situation in the mulberry forest. The Fierce Beast radar shows that there are a total of 568 fierce beasts hidden in this mulberry forest, of which one is Tier 5 fierce beast, 13 fierce beasts of Tier 4, and the rest are all Tier 3 fierce beasts. Ling Ju said. According to preliminary observations, all the fierce beasts should be pure white apes and spiders, and their strength should not be underestimated. Everyone must be vigilant. Fully white ape spider. So, the spider silk covering the entire mulberry forest is pure white ape spider silk. How much can this special sell for? The players suddenly became agitated. The pure white ape spider is a very powerful social beast. They are like a combination of white ape plus spider. It has 10 spider legs, but has the body of a white ape. It is not only agile and powerful, but also good at spinning. The exaggeration is that the silk of the pure white ape spider is very tough, and its strength is comparable to steel. The body armor and protective armor made of this kind of spider silk are not only tough and strong, but also soft and light. Therefore, the silk of the pure white ape spider is very expensive, and a pound of the pure white ape spider silk can sell for a sky-high price of 1 million. How many spider silks are there in this mulberry forest? If you collect them all and sell them, how much can you sell? Chen Feng swallowed, but he still reminded, don't be careless, everyone. The silk of the pure white ape spider is worth a lot, but the pure white ape spider is not easy to deal with. Hearing this, the players suddenly felt horrified and instantly calmed down. Ling Ju said, you are responsible for collecting spider silk, and leave it to me to eliminate the white ape spiders. I hope that when I kill all the white apes and spiders, you are almost finished collecting. Team Ling, can you do it alone? Huang Heilong asked concerned. There is a tier 5 white ape spider inside, which is not easy to deal with. Team Ling, should we all act together? The team members said one after another. I'm sure. Ling Ju said with a smile, and then disappeared in place. Everyone, Team Ling has started, let's take action. Go ahead. ... Escaped all the way, Ling Ju found the first white ape spider with a leg length of 4 meters, covered with barbs, and a white ape with 10 spider legs. At this moment, this pure white ape spider is crawling on the spider, sucking a beast of insects, its mouth parts are bulging, and it is full of enjoyment. For this tier 3 fierce beast, Ling Ju raised his hand and shot a stone spear through the head of this pure white ape spider, killing it on the spot. Collecting the corpse, Ling Ju continued to kill the second pure white ape spider. He was like a silent assassin, searching and killing all the way. In less than an hour, all 3rd order and 4th order pure white ape spiders were all killed by Ling Ju, and only the 5th order pure white ape spider remained. Ling Ju went to the center of the mulberry forest to search for the 5th order white ape spider. Unexpectedly, at this time, the murderer's radar suddenly sounded. Alert! Alarm! The 5th order white ape spider disappeared. Okay. Ling Julian looked at the fierce beast radar, and he saw that the orange spot on the radar representing the 5th order white ape spider had disappeared. Disappeared. Ling Ju frowned slightly, took out his mobile phone and contacted Chen Feng and others. The 5th order white ape spider has disappeared and its whereabouts are unknown. You should exit the mulberry forest first to avoid being attacked. What? Chen Feng was full of spirits. Yes. We will withdraw now. Everyone, leave quickly, the 5th order white ape spider is gone. Bye. After hanging up the phone, Ling Ju immediately went to the mulberry forest center, and found that the mulberry forest center was enveloped by thick spiders. The 3 layers inside the spider and the 3 outside layers are intertwined into a stable defensive circle that wraps the center of the mulberry forest in the middle. It is hard to see what is in the center of the mulberry forest. This is not difficult for Ling Ju. He dived into the earth, and earth escape, came to the center of the mulberry forest, but what he saw surprised him. There is a huge deep pit in the center of the mulberry forest. I don't know its depth. The wall of the pit is covered with a thick layer of spider silk, like a carpet. Ling Ju heightened his vigilance and cautiously came to the edge of the pit and looked down. At this look, his scalp was numb, and he was shocked in a cold sweat. The 5th order pure white ape spider was at the bottom of the pit, but it was lying motionless at the bottom of the pit, or, in other words, slowly wriggling. At the same time, it issued bursts of roaring, very painful, and it was covered with countless small red creatures. These red creatures are like spiders and crabs. They are only the size of an apple. They are blood red and cover the bodies of white spiders and spiders. They look very charming and evil. What is this? Ling Ju was puzzled, and cautiously grabbed a red creature with osmium soil, and then took out the microcomputer to query their information. Blood Banquet Soul Eater. a parasitic spider, with an adult body of 10 centimeters, a maximum of 15 centimeters, the whole body is blood red, like a pouring of blood. It is covered with hard spines and survives as a parasite, and often gets into the body of large beasts. www.mtlnovel.com, hooks with spines and the host's blood. At the same time, it rapidly divides, multiplies, and differentiates, forming a huge ethnic group, and it will not exchange for the next host until the blood of the host is drained. A bloodbath soul eater can split into a family in a very short time, so the bloodbath soul eater is also called a vampire spider. Note: the blood feast soul eater contains a kind of magic substance X. X is the main material for the manufacture of water of life, so the value of the blood feast soul eater orb is very expensive. The price: 1.5 billion jin. 1.5 billion per catty. What a joke. Ling Ju's eyes were straight. My ability is a perfect copy. Chapter 65. The water of life extends life for 30 years. 1 catty 1.5 billion. This is definitely the most expensive and outrageous beast Ling Ju has ever seen. Even those level 7 and level 8 beasts can't be compared with this, it's too outrageous. However, when Ling Ju searched the water of life, he suddenly felt that there was a reason why the blood banquet soul eater orb was so expensive. Water of life. Advanced genetic medicine, which can activate telomerase at the end of chromosomes in cells, greatly increase the number of chromosome replication, increase the number of cell divisions, slow down cell aging, and ultimately extend the life of the human body. A piece of water of life can extend lifespan by 30 years, which is too exaggerated. Ling Ju was shocked. Even though he knew that many technologies in this world are far ahead of previous lives, he never expected that he actually developed a life-prolonging drug. Water of life. Activate telomerase. Increase the number of chromosome duplications. Finally, life extension. Why is it so mysterious? But the information given on the microcomputer is plain that the water of life can indeed extend the lifespan of a person, and a full 30 years. 30 years. How many 30 years can a person have? Many people only have 2. A few people can have 3. Really very few. So, no one minds adding one more 30 years. Thinking about it this way, the blood banquet soul devouring orb is 1.5 billion jin, which is not expensive at all. Mine. It's all mine. Ling Ju was excited, and his eyes were green when he looked at the bloodbath soul eater. They were no longer bloodthirsty and evil vampires, but a series of zeros after the account balance. Grab. Catch them all. Ling Ju immediately checked the method of capturing the blood banquet soul eater, and found that capturing this thing was not as easy as imagined. Blood banquet soul devouring orb is very dangerous. Once the blood banquet soul devouring orb is parasitic in the body, unless it can be removed by surgery in time, otherwise, will undoubtedly die. However, this is not difficult for Ling Ju. He took out 50 square meters of osmium and wrapped all the blood feast soul eaters, including the full white ape spider, into a large ball, which was airtight. Then, I took a special space bag and put the big osmium ball in it. I believe that the next time I take it out, all the blood banquet soul eater orbs should be covered to death, and they will be sold directly at that time. Hey, make a fortune. Ling Ju licked his lips, beautiful nasal bubbles came out. This kind of wanton picking up money, and the feeling of picking up tens of billions of money is really cool. The price of the top genetic power secret technique is 1000 contribution points. When I sell this batch of blood banquet soul devouring orbs, should I make up? Ling Ju thought silently, full of expectations for the future, and then checked around, and after confirming that there were no omissions, he began to collect spider silk. The spider silks around should be made of the 5th order white ape spider, and the price alone is more expensive than other spider silks. After half an hour, all the spider silks were collected. Ling Ju contacted Chen Feng and others, and asked them to continue collecting the spider silks in the mulberry forest. The sun slanted to the west. When it was evening, all the spider silks in the mulberry forest were collected, and the group was tired enough to camp directly in the mulberry forest. Haha, 1 million catties of spider silk, think I can wake up tonight. Old Chen, how many spider silks have you collected? Not much, just a few hundred catties. Similar to us. In other words, we made at least 1 billion this afternoon. 1 billion. That's crazy. Haha. This is the blessing of the Link team. If it weren't for him, How could we make so much? Come, let's respect the Link team together. Although physically tired, everyone is very happy. Although it only took 2 days to come out this time, they made more than their usual year. The gap is not the same. Ling Ju also smiled happily. Although the players made money, he made more. 3,000 corpses of big tooth ants. 1,000 big teeth fierce ant eggs. The 30 billion iron-clad ox dragon fish eggs, and the bloody feast soul eater he just harvested today, all of which he earned himself. So, he did it himself. In addition, there are countless second, third, fourth, and fifth order fierce beast corpses that everyone has hunted together. As the main point of attack, he naturally wants to take the big head. It can be said that he is the one who makes the most money. Everyone has a good rest tonight, and strive to kill all the fierce beasts in Mizi Town in the next 2 days, and then go to the next Tier 5 fierce beast group. Ling Ju smiled and said, after we have cleaned up the beasts there, we can leave here early, and then return to the company to turn these gains into cash. What the Ling team said is absolutely true. Early the next morning, everyone got up at 6 o'clock, had breakfast in a hurry, and then set off. Today's task is arduous, and I have to work harder. Kill. The massacre unfolded again. 2 days later, all the fierce beasts in Mizi Town were slaughtered. Call Commander Shu. Yes, Ling team. An hour later, the magnetic levitation airship appeared over Mizi Town. Ling Ju led the team on board the airship, and found that there were many people in the airship, several of whom were Vulcans Yonggan and others. It's you. Yonggan suddenly stood up, his eyes were blood red, and he stared at Ling Ju angrily. If his eyes can kill, he can't wait to smash Ling Ju's corpse into 10,000 pieces, and then take the egg back. That's 30 billion iron-clad bull dragon eggs. Although the other Vulcan players were not as angry as Yonggan, their faces were not pretty. They clenched their fists and glared at Ling Ju. What's going on? Chen Feng and others were stunned. www.mtlnovel.com, it was you. Quote. Ling Ju glanced at them, then found a seat and sat down, completely ignoring the angry Yonggan and others, which made Yonggan even more angry. Boy, wait, you won't let you take things for nothing. Sooner or later I will let you spit it out with profit. I swear. Wait anytime. Ling Ju chuckled and ignored him, but looked at Shu Yuanwei. Command Shu, the beasts in Mizi Town have been cleaned up, take us to Haihuya. It's over. Shu Yuanwei was stunned, and then he was immediately investigated. After a while, he got news that there was no more beast in Mizi Town. Team Ling, your Pengu hunting efficiency is really amazing. Shu Yuanwei gave a thumbs up. There are so many fierce beasts in Mizi Town, as well as 3 fierce beasts of Tier 5, but they were all killed by you, amazing. It's all due to the brothers. Ling Ju smiled slightly. Can I go to Haihuya now? Okay. Shu Yuanwei nodded repeatedly, and then asked the maglev airship to change its flight path and head directly to Haihuya. He was completely convinced now. Command Shu, can we leave early after eliminating the beasts of Haihuya? Ling Juman asked casually. Of course can. Shu Yuanwei was stunned, and smiled. The other 17 fierce beasts have basically been cleaned up, and now only Haihuya is a difficult bone. As long as Captain Ling, you can take down Haihuya, and the rest of the work will be done. Leave it to us. That's good. Ling Ju nodded slightly, then closed his eyes and calmed down. Boy, wait, I'll make you look good later. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 66. Suspended Objects, Fire Nerves. Luo Jia welcomed a special guest today. If Ling Ju were here, he would definitely recognize that this guest was the Ai Yuhei who had seen him before. Hello Miss Ai. Luo Jia shook hands with Ai Yuhei enthusiastically. Hello Mr. Luo. Ai Yuhei responded with a smile. Miss Ai's purpose for coming here, President Ai has already told me. Luo Jia invited Ai Yuhei to sit down, but it's a pity that the owner of the iron-clad ox dragon fish egg is hunting the beasts in Qinling at the moment, I'm afraid. Qinling. It's not too far away from Lanshan Base City. Ai Yuhei smiled. Can you tell me where he is? I'll just go and find him. No problem. Luo Jia nodded, took out the phone and dialed out. After a while, he knew the location of Ling Ju. Miss Ai, they are heading to Haihuya. Haihuya. Thank you Mr. Luo. Haihuya is a ravine in the lofty Qinling Mountains. There are tall and steep mountains in front and back. The mountains are densely covered with trees and grasses. The magnetic levitation airship came to Haihuya. Lingju and the others got off the airship, and when they were about to eliminate the beasts, a stream of light came. This is a 4-meter-long maglev car. The door opened automatically, and a burly man with a silver skateboard floated out. Then, it hovered over the crowd. The royal thing is floating. 5-level ability person. Seeing the incoming person, everyone including Lingju shrank their pupils, and a touch of shock rose in their hearts. The first and second levels belong to the low-level abilities, the third and fourth levels belong to the intermediate abilities, and the fifth-level abilities are already in the category of the high-level abilities. Advanced ability person. A powerful pronoun. A person with a level 5 ability can easily kill a person with a level 5 or lower ability. Even a person with a level 4 ability can hardly compete with a powerful person with a level 5 ability. Because of its strength, there are not many level 5 abilities in the entire Lanshan base city. Only the general manager or responsible personnel of large organizations such as Pangu and Vulcan are level 5 abilities. Isn't this Vulcan general manager Jin Chao? Chen Feng stared at the incoming person and suddenly whispered, "Why is he here?" It's the general manager of Vulcan. It's strange, he's not staying in the base city, what is he doing here? Huang Hailong was also puzzled. Who knows? Perhaps pass by and have a look. The players shook their heads. The general manager of Vulcan is the same big man as their manager Luo. It's hard for them to know them, but they don't know them. President Kim. Seeing the people coming, Yonggan and the Vulcan players were overjoyed, and they bowed and saluted together. Good Mr. Kim. Lao Yang, which Lingju do you mean? Jin Chao looked at Yonggan. Mr. Kim, it's him. Yonggan pointed at Lingju, his face flashed with joy. This kid took our things, so he must spit it out anyway. What's the situation? Pangu players were bewildered, and Shu Yuanwei on the magnetic levitation airship and some of the superpowers of the super company also looked confused. Shenma's situation, looking for Lingju. Boy, hand it over. Jin Chao looked at Lingju and said lightly, you know what I mean, so don't try to understand and pretend to be confused. It doesn't make any sense. Why do you ask me to hand it in? Lingju smiled. Just because I am a level 5 ability person. Jin Chao's face was indifferent, and he looked down at Lingju condescendingly, as if looking down at an ant. Is this reason enough? Ha. Lingju smiled. His voice was not loud, but the disdain in the laughter did not conceal. The 5th level ability person wants to threaten me. What do you think you are? Wow. The audience was in an uproar. Everyone looked at Lingju with shock, just like looking at a monster. This is the general manager of Vulcan, how dare he talk to Jin Chao like this? Don't die. Presumptuous. Yonggan was overjoyed in his heart, but his face was full of anger. President Jin is the general manager of our Vulcan. You dare to talk to him like this, it would be too unreasonable to put our manager Jin in your eyes. President Jin. He is your Vulcan's President Jin, and not our Pangu general manager. Why should I give him face? Lingju's face was impatient. Don't talk about the extra nonsense. If you want to do it, just feel a little bit awkward. I'm still busy, I don't have time to force you. I'm going. So crazy. Too arrogant. So arrogant. I have never seen such an arrogant person. Team Ling, don't be so rigid. Chen Feng and others were terrified, and they even whispered to persuade. Hurry up and apologize, our hero will not suffer the immediate loss, and we will talk about everything when we return to the base city. Yeah, Team Ling, if you have something to say, you really irritate President Kim like this. This matter has nothing to do with you, so don't mix it up. Lingju waved his hand and said with a sneer, someone wants to grab an my things from me. I will let him know that it is just a toad that wants to eat swan meat, daydreaming. Boy, www.mtlnovel.com, you are looking for death. Jin Chao was completely angry, and pointed to the void. On the silver skateboard under his feet, he suddenly shot out a silver sharp gleaming shone. Shoo! The sharp blade turned into a stream of light, and it shot at Lingju like lightning. The speed of the sharp blade was too fast, and it reached Lingju in no time, pointing directly at Lingju's knee. Although he was angry, Jin Chao wouldn't really kill Lingju. After all, he was Pengu's 4th level ability. If he killed him, there would be endless trouble. Of course, if there is no one else here, it would be another matter. Hee hee. Good job. A wall of soil rose automatically under Ling Ju's feet, leaning across the edge. It is a pity that the penetration force of the sharp blade is beyond imagination. Only hearing a puff, the sharp blade penetrated the soil wall and continued to shoot at Ling Ju. However, at the moment of piercing through the earth wall, the sharp blade was blocked for a while after all. For Ling Ju, this moment of effort was enough. He dodges the sharp blade's attack as soon as he flashes, and launches an attack at the same time. Shoo shoo shoo. Most of the mountains in the Kinling Mountains belong to the Stone Mountain. There is nothing else here, there are so many stones, so this is definitely Ling Ju's home ground. Ling Jui stepped on the ground, and a 100-meter round rock instantly rose into the air, then turned into a chambered cannonball, bursting into Jin Chao in the air. Shoo shoo shoo. The stern sound of breaking through the air one after another, like a symphony suddenly played. This is a beautiful movement of hundreds of rocks piercing the air at the same time. Chapter 67. 80 Kill Shield, Too Cruel. Not good. Seeing so many rocks, Jin Chao's face changed slightly. Each rock was the size of a bull's head. If it were hit, it would definitely be enough to drink a pot. Jin Chao fell to the ground in succession. Although the 5th level ability can prevent objects from levitation, it is limited to levitation, not actual flight. Levitating means that you cannot move forward or retreat, and cannot move and dodge. So if he continues to float in the air, he really becomes a passive target for being beaten. This is very stupid. I thought it would be alright when I came to the ground. Ling Ju sneered, grabbed the void, and then slapped the ground hard. Boom boom boom. The rock that originally hit Jin Chao suddenly reversed its direction, turning into a dense rain of rocks, and slammed it down towards Jin Chao on the ground. Break it for me. Jin Chao burst into a shout, and the silver skateboard under his feet disintegrated in an instant, turning into dozens of identical silver blades. Immediately afterwards, the sharp blades were combined again and turned into a silver fan. The fan rotated at high speed to meet the falling rock. Crack, click. An astonishing scene happened. After the hard rock hits the high-speed rotating blade fan, it looks like tofu. With the crackling noise, the rocks are crushed and then scattered. This is the 80-kill shield of the top gold cold weapon. Zhang Yuan exclaimed. Top gold cold weapon. 80 kill shields. Chen Feng and others looked at Zhang Yuan. The 80 killing shield is composed of 80 sharp blades. It is said that each sharp blade is made of meteorite iron from the outer world. The iron is cut like mud and it is extremely sharp. Zhang Yuan explained in a deep voice. Split apart, each handle is a magic weapon that cuts iron and mud, and when combined, it is a terrible weapon. They can be combined into 80 different forms such as knives, guns, swords, halberds, cones, wheels, or umbrellas, etc. The power is amazing. That's it. Chen Feng and others felt a sudden, and they couldn't help but feel worried. Jin Chao was originally a level 5 ability person, and now he has this kind of magic weapon in his hand. Is Team Ling his opponent? Just when everyone was worried, hundreds of rocks had been strangled. Jin Chao's eyes were sharp. Boy, I will make you pay a heavy price for your stupidity and arrogance. The sword is coming. Jin Chao burst into tears, and the 80 sharp blades changed again, and they were combined into a huge sword with a length of 2 meters and a width of 20 centimeters. Kill. The giant sword burst and shot at Ling Ju. Shoo. The air was torn apart, making a sharp piercing sound. In the blink of an eye, the giant sword slammed in front of Ling Ju and took Ling Ju's chest and abdomen. The speed of this sword is fast and ruthless. It is impossible to resist it when it is replaced by an ordinary level 4 ability. It will definitely be pierced by a sword. Ling Ju is different, he is not an ordinary ability person. Facing the huge sword that comes from a blast, he decisively releases gravity. 8 times the gravity. Boom. Under the pressure of 8 times the gravity, the giant sword crossed half a parabola and slammed into the ground in front of Ling Ju. What? Jin Chao was taken aback when he saw the inevitable defeat of the blow, but before he could react, 8 times the gravity was pressed on him. Jin Chao was staggered, his back was almost bent. 8 times the gravity is very terrifying, even the fierce and tyrannical power beast like the Titan ape will be affected, not to mention him. What a terrifying gravity. Jin was shocked, and even thought of it, he wanted to recall the giant sword. Unexpectedly, at this time, the direction of 8 times gravity changed from downward to upward. Unprepared, Jin Chao was pressed by gravity and flew into the sky. 10,000 bullets. Ling Ju raised the corner of his mouth, and with a wave of his big hand, hundreds of rocks burst out, like Jin Chao arrogantly shooting into the air like a huge wave. Damn it! Was in the sky, without any leverage, Jin Chao couldn't even move, let alone dodge, he could only watch himself being submerged by rocks. Boom! Boom! Hundreds of boulders greeted Jin Chao one by one, and Jin Chao suddenly screamed. When Ling Ju withdrew 8 times the gravity and Jin Chao fell back to the ground, his whole body was and became a pool of mud. Ling Ju drew the giant sword from the soil and walked to Jin Chao step by step. You should be thankful that there are people here, otherwise. Jin Chao turned his head with difficulty, opened his eyes and looked at Ling Ju, opened his mouth to say something, but he spouted a mouthful of blood and couldn't say anything. All the bones in his whole body are broken, and he has completely become a useless person. I'll keep your sword as a trophy. Ling Ju waved the giant sword in his hand. If you are not convinced, you can come to me again, I am always welcome. After finishing speaking, Ling Ju no longer paid attention to Jin Chao, but looked at Yang Gan. Provoked me again and again, do you really think I dare not touch you? You, what do you want to do? Yang Gan's face was pale, his whole body trembling, like a frightened quail. What are you talking about? Ling Ju waved the huge sword in his hand and clicked twice, cutting off Yang Gan's right arm and left leg. Scarlet blood shot out. Yang Gan let out a scream, fell to the ground and rolled in pain. If you dare to provoke me again, next time you will cut off your hands and legs, but your head. Ling Ju said lightly, then looked at the Vulcan players. If you want to avenge your captain, www.mtlnovel.com, just come. After speaking, Ling Ju turned and left. Ling team. Chen Feng and others hurriedly greeted him, their eyes full of reverence. Let's go, continue to clean up the beasts. Ling Ju said lightly, as if he had done a trivial thing. Indeed. Defeating a 5th-level supernatural ability person, nothing to brag about. After all, as many as 4 5th-level fierce beasts died in his hands. Yes, Ling team. Ling Ju and others left. Looking at their backs, the Vulcan team members were full of horror. They didn't dare to say a word from beginning to end. Revenge. Just kidding. Even Mr. Kim is abolished. Didn't they rush to death? It's too cruel. It's so cruel. Xu Yuanwei and others swallowed wildly, their backs already wet with cold sweat. They swear that they have never seen such a fierce supernatural player. Vulcan boss, he just abandoned it. A 4th-level ability person like Yang Gan, directly cut off his right arm and left leg. Is too cruel. Cruel. If we weren't there today, I am afraid that the Vulcan group would not end up as simple as it is now. Some people have different opinions. Xu Yuanwei and others immediately fought a cold war. Yes, this is a wilderness area. If they are not here, can the people of Vulcan survive? Director Xu, what should I do now? Someone trembled and asked. They are Vulcan people after all, they can't die without saving. Xu Yuanwei sighed. First take them back to the base city for healing. If they die here, we won't be able to explain to Vulcan. Yes, Director Xu. Chapter 68. Transaction completed, task completed. Team Ling, you are amazing. Hey, even the general manager of Vulcan is not the opponent of Ling team. Looking at the entire Lanshan base city, who else can beat our Ling team? The first strongest player in Lanshan base city should belong to President Luo, followed by Vulcan's Jin Chao. Ling team defeated Jin Chao, and Biro is not much weaker, right? Team Ling is already so strong at the age of 16, he should be eligible to participate in the super training camp of the headquarters. That is the concentration of geniuses. The team members followed Ling Ju, with all kinds of praise like the surging river, and the yellow river flooded out of control. There was a suspicion of flattering, but they still expressed their exclamation and admiration for Ling Ju. Come on, hunt down the beasts with peace of mind, watch out for the ship capsize in the gutter. Haha, there are Ling teams, are you afraid of the mere beasts? The team members laughed, but quickly entered the state. Ling Ju walked behind. Using gravity to suppress, the team members charged into the battle and hunted. Kill kill kill. Boom boom boom. The momentum was like a broken bamboo. When it was about to get dark, Haihuya's beasts were almost completely cleared, and only a few remained lingering. Eat supper first, and then take a good rest, and strive to clean up the beasts of Haihuya tomorrow morning, and then we can return to the company early. Yes, Ling team. After dinner, the team members went into the abandoned building to rest. Ling Ju stayed in front of the building to absorb genetic energy. At this time, there was a ripple in the space not far away, and a graceful girl quietly appeared. A beautiful face, a tall figure, smooth long hair, a skin that can be broken by a bomb. She is as if she has come out of a painting, and she is beautiful. I haven't seen you in a month. You turned out to be a level 5 supernatural ability person, which is beyond my expectation. The girl gathered the hair around her ears and spoke softly. Ling Ju was full of spirits, and when he saw someone coming, he couldn't help but smile and said, "Miss Sister, you will be scared to death if you suddenly appear here like this. Is it?" Yuhei pursed his lips, walked to the chair next to Ling Ju and sat down, gently stirring the bonfire, making the flames burn more intensely. You should know where I came. Yuhei changed the subject. For this, right? Ling Ju nodded, and the iron-clad bull dragon egg appeared in his hand. Not bad. Yuhei's eyes lit up. I actually came very early. I have been watching the battle since you and Jin Chao were fighting, but I haven't shown up. To be honest, I was really shocked. I remember 1 month ago, you were only a level 3 ability person. In just 1 month, you have become a level 5 ability person. The speed of improvement is incredible. Miss Sister, you are wrong. Although I have the power of a level 5 ability, I am still a level 4 ability now. Ling Ju smiled and corrected. Level 4. Yuhei raised an eyebrow. A 4th level ability person has the ability to kill a 5th level ability person. It seems that you are more perverted than I thought. Haha, Miss Sister, you speak so nicely, I'm a little airy. The two chatted for a while, and Ling Ju handed the iron-clad ox dragon fish egg over. Miss Sister, check the goods. No problem. Yuhei quickly checked and accepted. It is indeed an iron-clad ox dragon fish egg, and it is still 2 years and 3 months old, only 9 months before the shell is broken. Can you even see this? Ling Ju was surprised. Special instrument. Yuhei smiled. 30 billion, plus 300 contribution points, right? Okay. Tell me your bank account. The transfer is successful. Ling Ju's bank card balance has increased by 30 billion, and the total balance has reached an astonishing 34 billion. When I sell this batch of goods, my net worth will skyrocket again, and then I can buy a magnetic levitation airship for fun. Looking at the series of zeros at the back of the account balance, Ling Jiamei's nasal bubbles came out. This is his current wealth, just like a dream. Okay, the transaction is complete. Yuhei smiled and said, young billionaires, we are destined to see you again. Miss Sister, are you leaving so soon? I really can't bear you. Your smiles, words and deeds, even a look, a movement, a look back, are deeply attracted to me. Quote. Ling Ju pretended to be sad, and said with a deep face. Yuhei blushed. What's wrong with your little kid? So you learn from other people to tease your younger sister, and that's fine. It's so embarrassing to learn. You want to laugh at me, and then take the iron-clad ox dragon flooded eggs snatch it back. Ling Ju was stunned, then smiled. This is not a tease, but a heartfelt word from the heart. Okay. My sister won't eat this set. Yuhei stopped laughing and released a maglev car to leave. When he got into the car, he suddenly looked back and smiled. See you next time. After speaking, she got into the maglev car and left. Ling Ju looked at the direction where the maglev car was disappearing, laughing blankly. The ancients said it well, a fair lady, a gentleman is so good. Although I am not a gentleman, he is also a lady. I practiced overnight until dawn, and the genetic powers consumed were replenished, and it was a lot thicker than before. Hundreds of rivers, is really a good thing. After eating breakfast, Ling Ju and others started hunting again. www.mtlnovel.com. As it approached noon, the beasts within 100 miles of Haihuya were completely wiped out. At 2 or 3 in the afternoon that day, Ling Ju and his entourage returned to the company, then went directly to the appraisal department and found Li Kai and his master Wang Yun. Master Wang, I have gained a lot this time, I have to trouble you again. No trouble, no trouble, the more you gain, the happier old man I will be. Everyone greeted briefly, and the identification work officially began. First Tier 2 and Tier 3 fierce beasts. Then there are the 4th and 5th rank fierce beasts. Because there are too many fierce beasts, the identification can't be completed for a while. Ling Ju asked Chen Feng and others to stare at him, and he came to the general manager's office. Came back. Luo Jia has complicated eyes. Came back. Ling Ju smiled and nodded. I know about Haihuya. Luo Jia's complexion. To be honest, I know you will surpass me sooner or later, but I didn't expect to come so soon. Mr. Luo, what about Haihuya did not cause trouble for the company? Ling Ju asked. Although there is trouble, it is not a big problem. Luo Jia didn't care to smile. Even because you defeated Jin Chao, our Penghu became famous in Lanshan Base City, and the limelight completely suppressed Vulcan. That's good. Ling Ju smiled slightly, and then started straight to the point. Mr. Luo, I am here to see you this time, mainly because I want to sell a good thing. Oh. Luo Jia raised his eyebrows. Ling Ju got good things one after another. First it was Bingyu grass, then Snow Mountain Gentiana, and then the iron-armored cow dragon egg. Now there are good things. Luo Jia is looking forward to it. It's a batch of blood feast soul eaters. Chapter 69. The richest man in Lanshan, buys an airship. Blood banquet soul eater. Luo Jia was stunned, and immediately his beautiful eyes widened, and suddenly stood up. What are you talking about, the bloody banquet soul eater? You got the bloody banquet soul eater. Ling Ju nodded. God. You actually got the blood banquet soul eater. Good luck, right? This thing is an invaluable treasure for making the water of life. Luo Jia was impatient. Quick. Take it out and show me. Right here. Ling Ju looked distressed. I'm afraid that your office will be dirty. When is it all? Do you still care about this? Luo Jia said in a bad mood. Take it out quickly, don't get rid of it. Okay. Ling Ju waved his big hand, and took out the big ball of osmium that was wrapped in the white ape spider and the bloody feast soul eater, and the office was instantly occupied. Fortunately, Luo Jia's office is big enough, otherwise, the body of this fifth order pure white ape spider alone would not fit. Ling Ju withdrew the osmium, revealing the corpse of the white ape spider wrapped inside and the soul eater crawling all over the corpse. After such a long time of wrapping, all the bloodbath soul eaters have suffocated to death, so there is no need to worry about being parasitized by them. This is the bloody banquet soul eater. Luo Jia squeezed a blood banquet soul eater and looked at it carefully. I've long been a master of the name of this stuff, it's the first time I have seen it. Later, Luo Jia took out the microcomputer to confirm. After confirming that it was correct, he called for relevant personnel to collect. Even carried out an autopsy on the white ape spider, and got all the feast soul eaters parasitic in its body. Way at last. Ling Ju, you made a lot of money this time. All the blood banquet soul eater spiders add up to a total of 31 catties and 6 tails, worth 47.4 billion yuan, I want to envy you. Haha, you're the general manager of the company, you still care about this little money. Ling Ju also felt that he had made a lot of money. Whether it was the iron-armored bull dragon fish egg or the blood feast soul eater, it was an unexpected windfall. This feeling of being hit by a windfall is so happy, if he can, he hopes to be killed by a windfall. Okay, let's make a deal. Luo Jia continued. Blood banquet soul eater belongs to Tianxi Dabao. The company can buy 47.4 billion, plus 474 contribution points, okay. Deal. The transaction was completed. Ling Ju's personal net worth reached 81.4 billion, of course, including 904 contribution points. Looking at the entire Lanshan Base City, there is no one with more money than him, and Luo Jia, the general manager, can't do it either. Congratulations on becoming the richest man in Lanshan. Luo Jia's eyes were full of admiration. Ling Ju grew up as she watched it grow up step by step. From being a rookie with an ability to now surpassing her, the whole process took only 8 months to complete. This kind of experience can be called a dream, and she feels unreal. Haha, the same joy, the same joy. Ling Ju smiled from ear to ear, he also felt dreaming. Before crossing, he was just an ordinary working people, with a salary of several thousand yuan. However, after crossing, he not only became a supernatural person, but also earned 80 billion net worth in 8 months. The change is so fast, it's really the same as a dream, but Ling Ju is also a little dissatisfied, because the contribution points still haven't exceeded the 1000 mark. In this way, his plan to purchase the top genetic power secret technique was ruined. Forget it, save it first. Ling Ju chatted with Luo Jia a few more words, left the manager's office and returned to the appraisal department. Master Wang and Li Kai were still busy appraisal. Ling team. Ling team. Chen Feng and others greeted each other. I haven't finished the appraisal yet. Ling Ju asked. This time the gain is a bit big, I may not be able to finish the appraisal after get off work. Huang Hailong said helplessly. I never dreamed that killing too many beasts would become a trouble. Is not that right? The players nodded one after another. Talk to Master Wang and Kai Li, let's go out to have a meal after get off work, and continue the appraisal tomorrow. Okay. 3 days later, the appraisal was finally completed and the corresponding results were released. First is the part that belongs to Ling Ju alone, including 7 Tier 5 fierce beasts, 468 Tier 4 fierce beasts, 3,000 large-toothed fierce ants and 1,000 ant eggs. The total value is 7.3 billion. These are all Ling Ju who completed the hunt alone, so Ling Ju did it himself. Is the part that everyone hunted together, including 176 Tier 4 fierce beasts and 23,876 Tier 3 fierce beasts. The total value is 12 billion. For the 12 billion division method, the wilderness team has its own rules, which are divided according to the proportion of the player's contribution in the hunting process. Generally speaking, Ling Ju made great contributions. Although he didn't make a lot of moves, under the suppression of gravity, the fierce beast basically lost its combat effectiveness. In view of this, the team members agreed that Ling Ju should monopolize 30%, and the remaining 70% were equally divided among the 10. Ling Ju naturally had no objection. In this way, another 3.6 billion was acquired. Ling Ju's net worth reached 92.3 billion. Although it did not break the 100 billion mark, it was only one step away. Had breakfast this day. www.mtlnovel.com. Ling Ju did not practice, but opened Pengu Mall and began to browse related products. He intends to spend a wave. If he has money, he won't be a bastard. After making so much money, he just put it away. What's the point of working hard to make money? Buy a maglev airship first. There are many magnetic levitation airships in the mall. The cheapest one starts with 1 billion, and the most expensive one is tens of billions. Ling Ju has set the goal within 10 billion. After some screening, and drawing on the suggestions of forum leaders, Ling Ju finally chose a home-type maglev airship with a price of 8.8 billion. Although this maglev airship is not as big as the government airship, its internal space has reached more than 200 square meters. The internal configuration is completely decorated according to the style of family housing, and the layout is 4 rooms, 2 halls, 1 kitchen and 2 bathrooms. In other words, with this magnetic levitation airship, Ling Ju can not only go out to hunt and kill beasts, but also take friends and family out to travel, which is very convenient. In addition, this magnetic levitation airship is also equipped with a weapon system, which can not only kill the beasts below Tier 5, but also block the attacks of the Tier 5 beasts. The offense and defense are integrated, and the price is extremely high. Place an order. Confirm. Payment. Shua. 8.8 billion just went out. According to the merchant's feedback, the goods will arrive this afternoon. Next, buy the power cheats. Ling Ju has a total of 5 abilities: soil control, shadow transformation, teleportation, gravity control, and tungsten steel alloying. At present, only the soil control ability has the top cheat, Rock Giant, and the remaining 4 abilities have no ability cheats. It used to be because there was no money and no ability to buy it. Now that I have money, I have to fill in their power cheats. Look at the movie first. Chapter 70. Shenra Tianzheng, luxurious and elegant. There are not many cheats for shadow transformation in the mall, and there is only one top shadow transformation ability cheat, Shadow Escape. Shadow Escape, a top-level ability cheat. After using this ability, you can move at a high speed of 20 times the speed in the shadowed state. The price is 1 billion. Shadow Escape is a high-speed mobile cheat. 20 times the speed of movement looks really good, but for that, it's somewhat tasteless. Ling Ju shook his head slightly. He has teleportation, and he can move to a distance of 100 meters in an instant. For him, Yingduan is unnecessary. It is a waste of 1 billion to buy such a tasteless skill. Look at the gravity power. If the shadowing ability is a special ability, relatively few people are awakened, and there are not many cheats about shadowing. Then the gravitational ability is a fairly regular ability. Why? Because most of the Earth-type abilities will derive gravity abilities when they become level 6 abilities. Therefore, many advanced and top Earth abilities possess gravity abilities. Everyone has gravity abilities. Naturally, there are many cheats about gravity abilities, so there are more than 50 top-level gravity abilities cheats. Shenluo Tianzheng, top-level ability cheats, change the direction of gravity, use outward gravity to bounce all surrounding objects and attacks, price, 1 billion. Gravity drill, top-level ability cheats, manipulate gravity to form a drill bit shape, causing significant damage to the target, price, 1 billion. Gravity shackles. Browsing through a list of top-level cheats on gravity, Ling Ju's eyes fell on Shenluo Tianzheng, the second middle power cheat book. Obviously, the creator of Shinra Tianzheng should have seen Naruto, so when naming his moves, he directly copied Shinra Tianzheng. But understandable. The Shinra Tianzheng here is indeed very similar to the Shinra Tianzheng in Hokage. Focusing on oneself, manipulating gravity to bounce off all surrounding objects and attacks, isn't it the ability of Shinra Tianzheng? This is a pretty buggy defense skill, just this one. Ling Ju made a choice, then placed an order, paid, and purchased. Next is the tungsten steel ability. Ling Ju continued to search. According to the experience given by the forum leaders, there are no special power cheats for body alienation abilities such as tungsten steel, Tyrannosaurus, and giant. Because the combat methods of this kind of ability are all close combat and hand-to-hand combat, the cheats of this kind of ability are all close combat skills or force skills. How to kill the target faster and more ruthlessly, how to exert the greatest strength. Ling 9 o'clock opened the top category. Garius legs, stacked waves fist, Realgar legs. 8 strength Lei Jin, top-level melee attack ability cheats, known for attacking tyrannical, fierce and domineering, strong to firm, refined to great success, implied 8-fold strength, 8 overlapped, unparalleled destructive power. 1 billion. Ling Ju's eyes gleamed, and he muttered, "This, 8 Strength of Thunder, is simply a secret book for my tungsten steel alien energy body." Although 8 Strength of Thunder is unrivaled, it puts a heavy load on the body. If you don't have a strong enough physique, you are easily injured. But this side effect is obviously ineffective on Ling Ju. Is there a stronger body than the tungsten steel? The answer is obviously no. Buy. Must buy. Place an order and pay. 1 billion has been hit by water again. Is teleportation at the end? Teleportation is a rare spatial ability, so there are not many cheats about teleportation, and there are no top cheats. Ling Ju suddenly lacked interest, and there is no need to buy it without top cheats. In conclusion, today I bought a total of 8.8 billion maglev airships, 1 billion-inch Shenluo Tianzheng, and 1 billion-inch 8 Thunder King. The 10.8 billion spent just like that, it's really like running water. Ling was 90,000 side that he makes money fast and spends money fast. In the future, he has to make good money. Otherwise, how can he marry a wife? After that, Ling Ju continued to search in the mall. He spent so much for himself, but didn't buy anything for his father and sister, which was not interesting enough. My dad is now mainly focusing on the company. From morning till night, he works hard. If he goes on like this, his body will be overwhelmed, so buy him something that strengthens his body. Ling Ju soon had a choice. Life element liquid, intermediate genetic medicine, which can improve the body's genes, comb the body organs, strengthen the physique, and improve immunity. Price, 2 billion. Looking at the introduction of the life essence liquid, Ling Ju couldn't help but nod. His father is just an ordinary person, he can't bear things that are too effective, and the life essence liquid is the best thing for him right now. Can not only strengthen his physique, but also improve immunity, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Buy a bottle for my sister too. Ling Ju bought 2 copies of life element liquid, and 4 billion was spent. At this time, there are still 77.5 billion in the account. Ling Ju thought about it, and bought a maglev car, intending to give it to his father as a birthday gift. If you remember correctly, in a few days, Dad will have his birthday. I used to be weak, I didn't spend too much money on the Dare's family, and I was afraid that people would miss it. It's different now. With the combat power that I can defeat the 5th level ability person, I believe that no one with a long-eyed ability dare to think anything. In the evening, Ling Ju was practicing power control in the practice room, and the phone rang. Hello, Mr. Ling Ju, I am the staff of Penghu Express. The goods you purchased have been delivered. Please sign for it. Is this here? Ling Ju was overjoyed, and then came to the door of the villa. Two staff members were standing there with a medium truck parked behind them. Hello. Hello, Mr. Ling Ju. Delivery, acceptance, and signature. Yu reading www.yuakanshu.com. The two staff members left soon. Ling Ju will store the U-disc of Shenluo Tianzheng, 8-strike Lei Jin, and 2 bottles of life essence liquid, as well as the magnetic levitation car bought for his father, put it in the space bag, and then test a new magnetic levitation airship was set up. At this moment, the father and sister went home together, and they were shocked when they saw the magnetic levitation airship parked in front of their home. Brother, this is? Asked my sister quickly. Magnetic levitation airship, it just arrived. Ling Ju smiled. Magnetic levitation airship. You bought it. My sister was stunned. I heard that magnetic levitation airships are ridiculously expensive, and the cheapest ones are more than 1 billion yuan. Can you afford this kind of thing? Haha, you underestimate your brother. Ling Juyong triumphantly. Okay, let's not say much, I will show you around. 9. Open the hatch. Ling Ju shouted at the magnetic levitation airship. Yes, respected master. The melodious electronic sound was heard, and the door of the maglev airship opened slowly. Ling Ju smiled and said, Xiaotong, Dad, go in and have a look. Wow. Sister cheered and rushed in. Dad nodded and walked into the airship with a complicated expression. Then they were shocked. Spacious and luxurious living room. Bright, mirror-like tiles. Gorgeous crystal chandelier. Imported brand name cushion sofa. Exquisitely carved bookcase. Everything makes the whole cabin look graceful, luxurious and beautiful. Is this really the inside of the airship, not someone's villa? Chapter 71. There are more wolves and less meat. The younger sister and father were shocked. The decoration in the airship is not inferior to their villa. If they didn't come in from the outside beforehand, they really thought it was the inside of the villa. Son, this airship is too luxurious. How much did you pay for it? Not much, only 8.8 billion. 880,000. That's really not much. Wait, 88 billion. Ling Tianxi couldn't help taking a breath, it's so expensive. All right, little money. Little money. Ling Tianxi's mouth twitched, wishing to smash the turtle son's dog's head with a punch. You call 8.8 billion Xiao Chen. Sincerely want to make me angry. Ha ha ha. Xiaotong, do you want to visit the wilderness area? Wilderland. I want to go. 9. Turn on the invisible mode and go to the wilderness area immediately. Yes, dear master. The maglev airship rose into the sky, and then disappeared above the villa. Half an hour later, I arrived at Guanshan Ranch, hundreds of miles away. At a glance, there are large tracts of trees and meadows, with gurgling streams and clear ponds running through the grassland. Above the head is the blue sky and white clouds that wash like blue waves, surrounded by undulating mountains, open river valleys, and dense forests. Stream snakes, sky blue and white. The air is fresh, harmonious and natural. What a beauty! The younger sister couldn't help but marvel. I haven't seen such a beautiful natural landscape in many years. Dad said with emotion. Let's go down and take a look. Appreciating the beautiful scenery, strolling on the grassland, resting on the ground, camping and eating. Early the next morning, the maglev airship returned to the base city on time to send his father and sister to work and school. Ling Ju also returned home to continue his practice. In the morning, study, Shenluo Tianzheng. In the afternoon, I will study, 8 Bent Lei Jin. Absorb genetic powers at night. The schedule is full. A week passed in a blink of an eye. Early that morning, Ling Ju received a call from Luo Jia that someone from the headquarters came and asked him to go to the company for review. Ling Ju didn't dare to neglect, and drove to the company, and saw the auditor from the headquarters, who was a middle-aged man with a thin short stature. The middle-aged man looks thin and weak, but his body faintly exudes a terrifying coercion, especially his eyes are extremely sharp, like a blade. Ling Ju, let me introduce to you. Luo Jia introduced enthusiastically. This is Teacher Jing Biao who came here from the headquarters and will review it for you. Hello, Teacher Jing Biao. Ling Ju hurriedly said hello. The young man is very energetic. Jing Biao smiled. I came to Lanshan Base City this time, one is to see you, and the other is to go home and see. I haven't returned to Lanshan for a long time. Ms. Jing Biao is also from Lanshan. Ling Julian asked. That's right. My mother is from Lanshan. When I was a child, I lived with my grandparents in Lanshan, and didn't leave until the beasts invaded. Jing Biao smiled and sighed. Blink, 30 years have passed. Ling Ju nodded slightly. Okay. Don't talk about this, let's talk about business first. Jing Biao changed the subject. Young man, I've read your information. I've been 16 years old, with dual powers of the earth element and gravity. The awakening power has not been more than a year. I am currently a level 4 power player, right? Yes, teacher Jing Biao. Ling Ju nodded slightly. 16 years old, less than a year after the awakening of the ability, level 4 ability, the cultivation speed is not bad, in line with the conditions of the super training camp. Jing Biao said. It's fine. Ling Ju was ashamed. Looking at the entire Lanshan Base City, his own speed of cultivation is absolutely no match, but in the eyes of teacher Jing Biao, is it just okay? Someone is shocking. Teacher Jing Biao, you may not know something about Ling Ju. Luo Jia opened the mouth and said, when Ling Ju first started practicing, he used the low-level genetic power secret technique to absorb genetic power, and then through his own efforts, he obtained the intermediate genetic power secret technique. When Jing Biao heard this, he couldn't help being taken aback. Ling Ju just started using the low-level genetic power secret technique, not the high-level genetic power secret technique. Yes. Luo Jia expressed his affirmation. After Ling Ju's awakening ability, he first signed a C-level contract with the company, and he used the low-level genetic ability secret technique. What Ling Ju first used was the secret technique of low-level genetic powers. Jing Biao was shocked. Yes. Luo Jia and Ling Ju nodded at the same time. If this is the case, then Ling Ju's cultivation speed is indeed very fast. Jing Biao looked at Ling Ju. I thought you were the same as those of the big family, you used the medium and high-level genetic power secret technique at the beginning. Ling Ju smiled bitterly. It would be good if he had this fate, but he didn't. You started with a low-level genetic power secret technique, but you can cultivate to this point. Your cultivation speed is not worse than those of geniuses. Jing Biao slowly said. Young man, your conditions are fully in line with the super training camp, but it is still difficult to get a place in the super training camp. Teacher Jing Biao, why is this? Luo Jia asked with a frown. Jing Biao sighed. Every year there is a limit on the number of super training camps, and the number of people will not exceed 200. There are more wolves and less meat. How many abilities have smashed their heads and want to enter the super training camp? How fierce the competition is beyond your imagination. Only 200 people. Ling Ju couldn't help tapping his tongue. Pangu is the world's #1 power organization, with branches all over the world. The super training camp recruits power users naturally for the whole world. Choose 200 people from all over the world. The intensity of this. So the headquarters has allocated 3 places for you in Chang'an Base City, and 2 of them are undoubtedly selected. Therefore, only 1 place is left. Jing Biao explained. The entire Chang'an Base City, as well as 41 satellite base cities within its jurisdiction, are competing for this 1 place. You can imagine how fierce the competition is. Ling Ju was silent. The super training camp is for all Pangu abilities. As long as you meet the conditions, you are eligible to apply for the super training camp. The power awakening does not exceed 2 years. Not weaker than those with 4th level ability. Under 20 years old, www.mtlnovel.com. As long as these conditions are met, you can apply. Many people, few places. Competition is not fierce. I've seen the list of your Chang'an Base City applying for the super training camp this time. For Ling Ju's age, he is undoubtedly very good. Jing Biao continued. No one in the 41 satellite base cities can compare with him. The trouble lies in Chang'an Base City. Chang'an Base City. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel Chapter 72, Hercules, Sonic Ability. Chang'an Base City is the only large-scale base city in the northwest and the main base city in the northwest region. Its status is equivalent to that of the provincial capital 30 years ago. The population is huge, the strong are numerous, and the various forces are numerous. Naturally many geniuses are born every year. In order to compete for the last place, many forces have exhausted their minds, either paying a high price to buy directly, or finding someone to walk around and build relationships. Jingbao slowly said. What's more, many of the company's top executives are from Chang'an base city, and they directly use the relationship for this quota. The competition is so fierce. Ling Ju felt his head big. In this case, am I not hopeless? If you are a general genius, naturally hope is slim. I came to Lanshan base city just for a walkthrough, but if you are a super genius, it may not be. Jingbao smiled slightly. The purpose of the company's super training camp is to cultivate top talents for the company for all talented people on the internet. So, as long as you are strong enough and enchanting enough, you will be able to stand out. Teacher Jing Biao, what should I do? Ling Ju asked quickly. After some screening, there are only 4 strong competitors left in the last place, plus you are 5. Jingbao smiled and said, behind the other 4 competitors are supported by 4 big forces. In terms of background, you are definitely not better than them. You have only one way to get the final spot, and that is, defeat them. Beat them. Ling Jui startled. Yes. Defeat them. Only by defeating them can you prove that you are more talented than the 4 of them. In this way, you will naturally get the last place. Jingbao smiled and said, it depends on whether you have the courage. Teacher Jing Biao, I would like to give it a try. Ling Ju nodded. Very good. Jing Biao smiled slightly and patted Ling Ju on the shoulder. Be prepared, I will arrange this competition as soon as possible. Yes, Teacher Jing Biao. In the next time, Ling Ju stayed at home and practiced at ease. Although he has the ability to defeat a level 5 ability person, he is only a level 4 ability person after all, and there is no absolute certainty. It would be great if I could break through level 5 before heading to Chang'an base city. Ling Ju thought silently in his heart, then browsed the mall, trying to find a treasure like Zushan Genshin to improve his strength. Ling Ju was disappointed. The effective natural treasures are too expensive, and his contribution points are not enough. The affordable natural treasures are basically useless. Ling Ju completely lost his mind and practiced with peace of mind step by step. A week passed in a blink of an eye. On this day, Ling Ju received a call from Luo Jia. Ling Ju, the relevant matters have been arranged by Teacher Jing Biao. He wants you to clean up, and follow him to Chang'an base city tomorrow morning. Understood, President Luo. Early the next morning, Ling Ju bid farewell to his family, got on Jing Biao's maglev airship and headed to Chang'an base city. Ling Ju. Jing Biao smiled and said, it only takes half an hour to get to Chang'an base city. Before arriving, I will tell you about the 4 competitors first. Thank you Teacher Jing Biao. Ling Ju is sincerely grateful. These 4 competitors are not small, 3 of them are from the 3 major forces in Chang'an base city, Yang Group, Ijia, and Chang'an military region. Jingbao said with a smile, the Yang family spent 50 billion to buy a competitive quota. Of course, the Yang family is also very talented. No need to say more about Ijia and Chang'an military region. The last competitor is the most troublesome, he is the descendant of a vice president of the company headquarters. Ling Ju frowned instantly. Pangu's rights framework is similar to many other power companies. The founder of the pyramid is naturally Li Huang. Luang is Pangu's chairman and the highest president. He has absolute right to speak in aloof status in the company. Under Li Huang, there are 4 vice presidents. Under the vice president are the managers of various departments and large-scale base cities. It can be seen from this that the position and rights of the vice president in Pangu. Let's talk about the Yang family first. Jingbao continued. His name is Yang Tian, a 4th-level supernatural power, and her supernatural power is iconic. Hercules is one of the most powerful beasts. After the deity of Hercules, Yang Tian can greatly improve both his strength and defense, and he can display 100 times more power than normal, which is infinite. Hercules. 100 times more powerful. Ling Zhou's eyes show different colors, which is very similar to his own tungsten steel alloying ability. Ijia I Shangcheng, the 4th-level ability, the ability is fire control and wind control, among which his fire control ability controls a special flame. The unquenchable sky flame, the temperature is very amazing, can reach 5,000, kills the power is terrifying. 5,000 degrees Celsius. Ling Ju suffocated, and the temperature of the sun's surface was only 6,000. The military area's name is Chu Ding, a 4th level ability person. His abilities are Wolverine's claws and sonic abilities. His wolf claws are very tough and sharp, and he can move as fast as the speed of sound. The last Chong Jiandong, a 5th level ability, has a huge power and a 100-fold genetic power. Chong Jiandong can become a 10-meter giant. www.mtlnovel.com. The strength and defense will be increased tenfold, and the genetic powers in his body are 100 times that of ordinary people. 100-fold genetic powers are also considered powers. Ling Ju was slightly taken aback. Of course. Jing Biao nodded. Chong Jiandong's physique is different from that of ordinary people. The genetic power in his body is inherently 100 times stronger than that of ordinary people. Just like the protagonist in an anime, the amount of chakra is naturally more than ordinary people. This is also a kind of ability. Okay. Ling Ju suddenly. Genetic ability is the blue of the ability person. The stronger the genetic ability, the longer the ability person can fight. 100-fold genetic powers, this is not a little bit strong. It's a pretty good ability, it would be great if I could replicate it. Ling Ju thought to himself that he now has 5 abilities. Life-saving shadowing will not be mentioned for the time being, the remaining soil control, gravity, teleportation, and tungsten steel alloying are all very powerful abilities. Used together, the combat effectiveness is very terrifying. The only disadvantage is that it consumes too much genetic power. If you can copy Chong Jiandong's 100 times genetic power, you can make up for this shortcoming. Unfortunately, it will take more than a month before the next copy. Ling Ju sighed. Seeing Ling Ju's silence, Jing Biao thought he was frightened, and couldn't help but smile and asked, "Is it a lot of pressure?" "The pressure is a little bit, but it won't make me shrink." Ling Ju smiled confidently. "I believe I can beat them." "Very good." Jing Bao showed admiration. Young people should be like the rising sun, full of vigor and confidence. Ling Ju, I look forward to your performance. I will. Chapter 73. Arrived in Chang'an and met acquaintances. In the blink of an eye for half an hour, the airship arrived over Chang'an base city. At a glance, a huge city is entrenched on the ground. Compared with it, Lanshan base city is a backward small rural village. This is Chang'an base city. Standing in the air and overlooking, high-rise buildings, street shops, crowds, and flying vehicles shuttled back and forth. In Lanshan base city, aircraft are generally rarely seen, but in Chang'an base city, maglev motorcycles, maglev cars, abound. They are very common as they shuttle over the base city like a private car. Chang'an base city has a total of 50,000 or 60,000 people with long-lived ability, and there are many wealthy people, so aircraft are relatively common. Flying in Chang'an base city generally does not need to turn on stealth mode. This is not the same as Lanshan. After the two talked, they came to the sky above a 30-story building, which was the branch office building of Penghu Ability Company in Chang'an base city. "We are here." The two got off the airship, and they went to the general manager's office unimpeded, and they met Tianfan, the general manager of Penghu in Chang'an base city. "Old Jing, you are back." Tianfan greeted him with a smile. "Just here." Jingbao pointed at Ling Ju and said, "He is the little guy the first brought back from Lanshan base city." Tianfan looked at Ling Ju, and took the initiative to stretch out his hand and smiled. "Young man, I have heard of your name a long time ago. I finally saw the real person today." "Hello Mr. I." Ling Ju hurriedly stretched out his hand. "Hee, nice boy." Tianfan patted Ling Ju on the shoulder, and then asked Jing Biao and Ling Ju to sit down. "At your request, Lao Jing, I have arranged the competition. You can call them for the competition at any time. Just this afternoon." Jingbao glanced at Ling Ju. Ling Ju has been rushing all the way, and he also needs to rest. It won't be too late for him to eat a meal and recharge his energy before trying. "Old Jing, you really take care of this kid." Tianfan teased. "We Lanshan finally got a good seed. If I don't take care of it, it can't be justified. Besides, it is my duty to select elites for the super training camp." Jingbao looked at Ling Ju. "Ling Ju, you can move freely during the next period of time until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Just return to the company at 3 o'clock in the afternoon." "Yes, teacher Jing Biao. When I first arrived, I naturally want to visit Chang'an base city. After all, it is an ancient capital of 13 dynasties, rich in culture and history, and is the only large-scale base city in the entire northwestern region. How can I not go shopping? It's time for dinner, let's go eat something. Ling Ju took out his mobile phone and was about to search for food. At this time, two girls walked out of the company. Both are perfect beauties, but one of them is in a wheelchair. Seeing the beautiful women, Ling Ju couldn't help but glance twice. At this look, Ling Ju suddenly felt that one of them was a bit familiar. Miss Sister. Ling Ju couldn't help but yelled out. Okay. The beauty pushing the wheelchair suddenly stopped, then turned to look at Ling Ju, and said in surprise, Ling Ju, is it you? Haha, I felt familiar just now, but I didn't expect it to be you. Ling Ju smiled and said, it's really a fate to meet for thousands of miles, but the opposite is not to meet you. It's pretty destined. Ai Yuhei gathered the hair around her ears and chuckled softly. Are you coming to Chang'an Base City for something to do? Or are you here to play? Participate in the super training camp selection. Ling Ju did not conceal. But the selection only started in the afternoon. I am a little hungry at this moment and want to eat something. Miss Sister, you are a local, do you have any delicious Amway? Super training camp selection. Ai Yuhei and the wheelchair beauty looked at each other. They both saw a touch of surprise in each other's eyes. Ai Yuhei then smiled and said, then you are looking for the right person. Where there are delicious foods in Chang'an, I'm like a treasure. Let's talk about it. What do you want to eat? Hot pot, stir-fried dishes, seafood, French food, Japanese food, or local snacks? Ai Yuhei is very enthusiastic. Local snack bar. Ling Ju smiled and said, routine steamed bun, mutton bubble steamed bun, biang noodles, buckwheat noodles, etc. are all okay. I don't care much about what I eat. If you want to eat these, then go to the snack street, there are so many. Ai Yuhei smiled and said, the famous snack street in Chang'an includes Dapayuan, Xiong City, Dongxin Street, Dashejiashong, etc. The nearest ones are Dapayuan and Xiong City. Let's go to Dapayuan. Ling Ju thanked. Thank you for your recommendation, then I will go. Are you going to go alone? Ai Yuhei's beautiful eyes flashed. If not, Ling Ju shrugged. Of course, if you are willing to admire the light, I don't mind having a potluck with beautiful women. Of course. I have more time. Ai Yuhei smiled generously. Wait, let me make a call. After finishing speaking, she took out her mobile phone and dialed out. Sorry, I suddenly ran into a very important customer, so I won't eat with you. Get it done. Ai Yuhei hung up the phone and blinked at Ling Ju, showing a triumphant smile. Brother, we can go. Sister didn't you agree to eat with him? Is it really good to just let others dove? The wheelchair beauty kindly reminded. Who wants to eat with him? It is not my dad who made his own claim and agreed to me. Ai Yuhei blinked. There was no excuse before, it's not easy to shirk, now. Quote. Ling Ju was speechless. www.mtlnovel.com. I thought people were interesting to me, but. Two beauties, get in the car. Tisk tisk. Local tyrant, I even bought a magnetic levitation airship. After a while, they came to the big leather courtyard. The three of them found a place to do it. When they were waiting for the food, Ai Yuhei said, Ling Ju, this is my good girlfriend Yang Ling. The wheelchair beauty rolled her eyes, and said in a bad tone, you finally remembered me, I thought you forgot me out of the sky. How can I, even if I forget myself, I won't forget you. Ai Yuhei squeezed Yang Ling white and tender face, and pointed at Ling Ju. His name is Ling Ju, from Lanshan Base City. Don't look at his age, he is already a billionaire. Miss Linger, nice to meet you. Me too. The three of them ate and chatted. Ling Ju didn't talk much. Yang Linger also talked less, mainly Ai Yuhei was talking, she seemed to be very happy today, and talked more. Ling Ju, you just said you want to participate in the super training camp selection. Ai Yuhei asked actively. Ling Ju nodded. Then do you know your opponent? I have read the information. They all seem to be very strong, and they have a big backing. Are you confident? If I had no confidence, I would not come to Chang'an. Compared with those guys, you are quite comfortable to get along with, I hope you can get the last place. Thank you. Rainbow. At this time, a voice that suppressed anger suddenly sounded. Didn't you say you want to accompany a very important guest? How can you be with a little boy? Chapter 74. Become a love enemy. Giant transformation ability. Okay. Yuhei turned his head and saw a burly young man walking into the hotel. Yuhei, didn't you say you want to accompany an important guest? How to be with a little white face? The burly young man pointed at Ling Ju, his eyes full of anger. He feels cheated. Very, very, very important guest, just a little boy. He is an important guest, what's the matter? Yuhei frowned slightly. Important guest. A little white face. The burly young man sneered. Yuhei, I tried my best to invite you to have a meal, and I went to Uncle I's place. The burly young man's eyes were red. It turned out to be good. For a little white face who came out of nowhere, you let me dove. Yuhei, who is this little white face? Chong Jiandong, who do I eat with? Do I need your approval? Yuhei slowly said. Also, why are you doing this every time you are endless? Forget it, I don't understand, please leave immediately. Leave. I will leave. But before leaving, I want to know what the sacred little white face is, and why are you letting me dove for him? Said, he suddenly grabbed Ling Ju. Little white face, come out with me. His grasp was quick and cruel, and it was completely beyond everyone's expectation. Ling Ju couldn't react, and he grabbed his neck. Boom. A violent attack caused Ling Ju to fly up uncontrollably, and then was thrown out of the small restaurant. Fortunately, Ling Ju was very responsive, and he landed steadily in the air with one somersault, so that he wouldn't land in embarrassment. For that, Ling Ju was also furious. Good. I just came out to have a meal, and turned out to be a rival in love. Are you a fool? Chong Jiandong, you are crazy. Yu stood up angrily. Yuhei, wait a moment, let me talk to this little boy first. After finishing speaking, Chong Jiandong also rushed out of the hotel, his eyes filled with endless anger. Boy, don't you know my rules? Rules. Ling Ju has cold eyes. The last little white face who dared to entangle Yuhei, I broke my legs, the last one, was hit by a truck and became paralyzed. Chong Jiandong said coldly, and you are even more hateful. You dare to destroy the chance I finally got. How do you want to die? I don't know your rules, but I know you must be an idiot. Ling Ju looked at Chong Jiandong as if he was looking at a mentally retarded person. Just like you still want to be a girl. Stop daydreaming. If I were Miss I, even if all the men in this world were dead, I wouldn't like you would be an idiot with a mentally handicapped brain. Looking for death. Chong Jiandong was furious, and he stepped on the ground with his right foot, and the ground suddenly cracked. With the terrifying elasticity, he directly turned into a bolt of lightning and shot at Ling Ju. Do you dare to make a fool of someone with a small carving skill? Ling Ju chuckled, and slowly raised his right hand, Shen Luo Tianzheng. Boom. The terrifying repulsion broke out in an instant, and Chong Jiandong was directly shot out. Asshole. Chong Jiandong stood up with a carp, and the next moment, his body expanded at a speed visible to the naked eye. In just a few breaths, he swelled into a giant 10 meters tall. 3-story body. Bulging muscles. Violent blue veins on the forehead. Chong Jiandong is like the Titan giant in myths and legends, he exudes a terrifying aura, and the cold light in his eyes seems to be able to freeze everything. Boy, you completely irritated me. Chong Jiandong sounded like a huge bell, with endless anger. I will smash your bones, hammer your dog's head, and let you know the fate of offending me. Chong Jiandong. Yuhei rushed out and said angrily, have you had enough trouble? Yuhei, this little white face dares to pester you, I won't let him go. Chong Jiandong cold road. What did he do to me? It's not your turn to be nosy. Yuhei was also irritated. Also, I tell you plainly today, even if all the men in the world are dead, I can't think about you. From now on, stop pestering me. Otherwise, my friends won't have to do it. Yuhei, you did this to me for this little white face. Chong Jiandong was struck by lightning and looked at Yuhei in disbelief. Yuhei had never said this to him before, and he felt very sad. Hearing this, Yuhei almost went crazy. Are you a pig brain? I'm so to you, have anything to do with Ling Ju. However, she still underestimated Chong Jiandong's brain circuit. After a moment of daze, Chong Jiandong suddenly glared at Ling Ju. It's you. It's all you. If it wasn't for your little white face, how could Yuhei treat me this way? I'm going to kill you. Quote. Ling Ju doesn't know what to say. Is there such a stupid person? Dead. Chong Jiandong roared and smashed Ling Ju with a punch. After using the huge transformation ability, his speed did not slow down, but faster. What a mental retardation. Ling Ju waved casually. Shen Luo Tianzheng. Boom. Chong Jiandong flew out again. Even if he became a 10-meter tall giant, even if his power had increased 10 times, yet he was still vulnerable to Shen Luo Tianzheng. After all, Ling Ju's gravity abilities can suppress even a 30-meter tall Titan Storm Ape, let alone Chong Jiandong. Damn it. The next battle was meaningless. No matter how angry Chong Jiandong was, he couldn't get close to Ling Ju. The battle was completely one-sided, and Shenluo Tianzheng suppressed him to death. Enough. Just when Chong Jiandong was lifted off again and rushed up again, Ai Yuhei shot, and Chong Jiandong was directly imprisoned in place by her. Let's stop here. Ai Yuhei didn't even look at Chong Jiandong, www.mtlnovel.com, and turned to Ling Ju. Let's change place. Yes. The three of them paid the money, and then left the hotel. When they walked far away, Chong Jiandong was able to get out. He knelt directly on the ground and shouted, "No. No. No. Comma. I was really sorry just now. Change the restaurant again." Ai Yuhei smiled bitterly and apologized. "I didn't expect to involve you because of my mess, I'm really embarrassed." "It's okay. With such a suitor, anyone will be driven crazy." Ling Ju waved his hand, and suddenly smiled, "But I didn't expect it to be scary when you get angry. I was a little scared just now." Ai Yuhei's face blushed, and Yang Linger explained, "Sister, he usually has a very good temper, but she was only angry just now." "I can tell." Ling Ju nodded in understanding. "Everyone is crazy. Forget it. Don't mention this, it will affect your mood." Ai Yuhei looked at Ling Ju. "Speaking of which, are you really good? You turned Chong Jiandong around, he is one of your 4 major competitors." Just to restrain him, Ling Ju smiled faintly. "If I'm against you, I won't have any chance of winning. Your spatial ability is really strong. It's okay." After just out, the mood of the 3 of them was greatly affected. They were not in the mood for eating, and they just ate something and went shopping. In the afternoon, Ling Ju was going back to the company. Ai Yuhei and Yang Linger knew what he was going to do, and they planned to follow along to see the excitement. So, he also came to the company. Chapter 75. The start of the competition is not the same. After returning to the company, they met Ai Tianfan and Jing Biao, and Ling Ju took the initiative to say hello. Ai Tianfan and Jing Biao nodded slightly, and then said, "Ling Ju, the test is about to begin. Are you ready?" "Almost." Ling Ju nodded. "Let's go then." Led by Ai Tianfan, a group of people came to the huge training room. What surprised Ling Ju was that the training room was full of people. And mostly outsiders. So many people watching the game. Ling Ju was surprised. Seems to see Ling Ju's doubts, Jing Biao explained, because the last place involves many people and many forces. In order to ensure fairness, Lao Ai specially invited some audiences. Under everyone's witness, as long as you can beat the other 4 competitors, this last place is none other than you, and others have nothing to say. Of course, if you lose, you have nothing to say. I understand. Ling Ju took a deep breath. Everyone. Ai Tianfan came to the center of the training room and looked around everyone. I won't say any extra nonsense, just a few words. After layers of selection, 5 competitors were finally selected to compete for the last place in this super training camp. There are more people and fewer places. One sentence, the survival of the fittest. Whoever is stronger will be eligible for the last place. Now I announce, the competition officially begins. Because it is a temporary competition, there are not so many rules. The order of the competition is determined by drawing lots. Ling Ju, Yang Tian, Chong Jiandong, Ai Shangcheng, and Chu Ding 5 competitors came to the center of the training room and started drawing lots. The results came out soon. Ling Ju vs Yang Tian. Ai Shangcheng vs Chong Jiandong. Chu Ding from the military region Bai. When the lottery was drawn, Chong Jiandong kept staring at Ling Ju. If there were not so many people around, he would definitely rush to fight Ling Ju desperately. Although, he is not Ling Ju's opponent at all. The first game, Yang Tian vs Ling Ju. Shua. For a time, everyone's eyes fell on 2 people in the field at the same time. Old King, who do you think will win? Tianfan asked Jing Biao next to him. Hard to say. Jing Biao shook his head. Ling Ju has the ability to control soil and gravity, which belongs to the long-range attack type ability, while Yang Tian has the Hercules iconic ability, which belongs to the domineering melee type ability. The two have different fighting styles. So judging. But what? Tianfan raised his eyebrows. Yang Tian's power type ability is invincible in the field of the same level, and in this field of the 4th level ability, I am afraid that no one is his opponent. Jing Biao said slowly. Indeed. Once the Hercules is transformed into a deity, Yang Tian's power soars 100-fold. It is too difficult to limit him by controlling soil and gravity alone. Tianfan also nodded, and immediately smiled blankly. However, if you haven't reached the last moment, you may win or lose. Makes sense. Sister He, who do you think can win? Yang Linger asked in a low voice. Ling Ju. Yuhei said firmly. So sure. Yang Linger was a little surprised. Jingbao and Tianfan also looked at Yuhei with surprise. They were not sure who would win. Yuhei was so sure. No one can beat Ling Ju below level 5. Yuhei smiled confidently. She had seen Ling Ju defeating Jin Chao, and she had also witnessed Ling Ju slaughtering Haihuya's tier 5 fierce beast, and she knew Ling Ju's strength. Girl, are you so sure? Tianfan raised his eyebrows. Dad, you'll know later. On the other side, Ling Ju and Yang Tian have already sparked. Ling Ju, right. Yang Tianxian turned to Ling Ju. I don't know who gave you the courage to run from the countryside to Chang'an and compete with me for the last place in the super training camp. I can only tell you that you have to run for nothing. Up. Stop talking about useless nonsense. Ling Ju shrugged. Go ahead. You won't cry without seeing the coffin. Yang Tian snorted, his body swelled at a speed visible to the naked eye, and in the blink of an eye, he turned into a 5-meter-tall elephant. Strong legs, arms, ears as big as a fan, 2 sharp fangs exposed from his mouth, and pieces of dark green scales on his body. It looks like but not like, but like a person. A perfect combination of human and elephant. Boom. As soon as Yang Tian stepped on the ground, the marble and porcelain tiled floor suddenly shattered in pieces, and Yang Tian slammed into it amid the high-pitched roar. In people's impression, elephants look very bulky and not fast. This is actually an illusion. The speed of the elephant is very fast, up to 20 kilometers per hour, which can be converted into another more intuitive unit, which is 5.5 meters per second. 5.5 meters in 1 second. This is the speed of an ordinary elephant. Hercules, as a leader among the fierce elephants, in addition to the most exaggerated power and defense, its speed is dozens of times faster than that of ordinary elephants. Therefore, Yang Tian's speed is very fast, rumbling on the floor, www.mtlnovel.com, as if a horse galloping by, the training room is shaking slightly. Hercules, interesting. Ling Ju's body surrounded by osmium and earth, in the blink of an eye, he became a 5 meters tall osmium and earth giant, and also used tungsten steel alloying ability. What does this kid want to do? Head to head. You want to fight Yang Tian head on, you got kicked by a donkey, right? Shaoshan, booming this reckless thing. Seeing Ling Ju's posture, the spectators were shocked, and immediately showed sarcasm. Why are you heading to the other side? Jingbao frowned, feeling that Ling Ju's choice was very unwise. Yang Tian's most powerful thing is strength. Ling Ju and him head to head. Isn't that short of oneself and strength of attacking the enemy? Is a bit stupid. Go down, countryman. Yang Tian roared, raised his strong fist, and blasted him with a punch. Ling Ju let out a low cry and raised his fist to greet him. Crack. 2 fists collided, like 2 high-speed locomotives collided. Accompanied by a roar that almost pierced the eardrum of a person, the glass in the training room burst open, and Ling Ju and Yang Tian backed back at the same time. Does it matter? The spectators were all stunned. Yang Tian possessed the power of Hercules' deification, his power soared by 100-fold, and the power of a punch was as high as 20 or 30 tons. Such a terrifying blow, even if a van can smash into a discus, Ling Ju actually caught it. What a joke. This kid is so powerful. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel Chapter 76, 3 kinds of abilities, fast as thunder. The audience was in an uproar. The rock giant is so strong. Jing Biao and Tianfan glanced at each other, their faces were full of errors. The rock giant, They naturally know. The top soil type ability cheats. Can they be as good as Yang Tian, who has exerted 100 times the power? Sister He, does Ling Ju also have power abilities? Yang Linger's beautiful eyes flashed, revealing a wise light. As expected to be a talented woman, Yang, her eyes are really sharp. Yuhei did not deny. I don't have much contact with him, and I don't know the specific power, but I am sure that he definitely has a power type power. This power type ability works with his rock giant, allowing him to exert 100 times more power than normal. Power type ability. Tianfan's eyes flashed with a brilliant light. Soil control, gravity, and mysterious power type abilities. This kid actually has 3 abilities, incredible. If I had known that Ling Ju had 3 abilities, would he still need to try? The last place was directly given to him. Jing Biao smiled bitterly. You can't say that. Ling Ju seems to have 3 kinds of abilities, but after he breaks through level 6, soil control and gravity can be classified as one kind of abilities. Tianfan said slowly. So, he actually has 2 abilities. From this point of view, the other competitors are no worse than him. That's right, but at this stage, he still has a huge advantage. Jing Biao smiled. Tianfan nodded slightly. You actually. Yang Tian looked at Ling Ju in disbelief. Since the awakening of the ability, few people have dared to face him head on, because few people can catch him. Ling Ju not only did it, but also did not lose sight of himself. But, do you think you can really counter me by catching my punch? Tell you, this is a daydream. Eightfold Ben Lei Jin. Yang Tian roared, the muscles of his right arm violently, and then blasted out with a punch. In the thunder-like sound of breaking through the air, his fist hit Ling Ju like a cannonball. Good job. Ling Jui stepped on the ground, sinking his waist and immediately, raising his right fist to greet him. Crack. A crisp blast sounded suddenly, a violent air current swept the entire training room, and the 2 of them retreated 7 or 8 meters back at the same time to stabilize their figure. Is unmatched again. Damn it. Seeing his most powerful attack could not help Ling Ju, Yang Tian became extremely impatient, and frantically attacked Ling Ju. Or fist or elbow, or leg or knee. Attacks are endless, and every blow contains overwhelming power. If ordinary people are knocked and touched, they will definitely be smashed into meat sauce. But Ling Ju saw the trick and took them all down. After a frantic attack, Yang Weather was panting, his face flushed. Finally, in an unwilling roar, his body quickly shrank, and he retired from the Hercules state, and his genetic abnormality was exhausted. You lose. Ling Ju withdrew from the tungsten steel alloying state, and at the same time retracted the osmium earth giant, looking at Yang Tian indifferently. Lost. How could I lose to you? Yang Tian's face was pale, but before he could launch an attack, a terrifying gravity poured out, oppressing him like a mountain on top. Boom. In the human form, Yang Tian has no resistance. He was directly pressed on the ground, like a monkey grandson imprisoned by Wu Jishan, unable to even stand up, let alone fight. Ling Ju won. Jingbao smiled and said. In fact, when he showed the 3rd ability, the result of this battle was already doomed. Indeed. Tianfan's gaze is a bit complicated. Soil control ability, gravity ability, and power type ability that is no less inferior to Hercules. This kid has 3 abilities of long attack, support, and melee. He has good talent. It makes people jealous. This is talent. Jing Biao smiled slightly. Billions of people in the world will always be born with a few abnormalities. Since there will always be such people, why can't it be him? Makes sense. Tianfan nodded, then walked to the center of the training room and said lightly, okay, stop, the winner of this competition belongs to Ling Ju. Ling Ju heard this and withdrew gravity. The pressure on his body disappeared, and Yang Tian directly bounced up. Although he was breathing heavily, he could not accept the result. I didn't lose. How could I lose to him? I can fight again. Enough. Tianfan's face sank, and he shouted, if you lose, you lose. Why is there so much nonsense? Go on. Yang Tian was full of spirits, unwilling to give Ling Ju a look, and obediently left the center of the training room. He did not dare to violate Tianfan's will. Next game, Chong Jiandong vs I Shangcheng. Tianfan simply announced the end of the competition, and then said to Ling Ju, you can choose to watch the game, or you can choose to rest next door. Ling Ju felt the genetic power in his body and nodded, I'd better go to the next room to rest. Then, Ling Ju came to the next training room and ran 100 rivers to quickly restore the genetic powers in his body. Just now, his genetic powers consumed a lot and he needed to recover. Time passed unconsciously, and I don't know how long it had passed before Ling Ju was awakened by Ai Yuhei. Ling Ju, it's your turn. Who won the last game? Ling Ju asked. You guess. Ai Yuhei smiled playfully. I Shangcheng. Ling Ju raised his eyebrows. You guessed right. It's not hard to guess. Ling Ju got up. Chong Jiandong is just a pustule. www.mtlnovel.com. Who does not lose? Next game, Ling Ju vs Chu Ding. Ling Ju and Chu Ding came to the court. Chu Ding is an incomparably sharp young man with an inch head, wearing a military uniform, standing straight, full of iron and blood in his words and deeds. You are very strong, I will go all out. Chu Ding said slowly. I will do my best. Ling Ju didn't dare to underestimate the enemy. Chu Ding's abilities are Wolverine Claw and the speed of sound ability, which means that his movement speed can reach the speed of sound. The speed of sound. 340 meters in 1 second. How fast is this? Facing this terrifying speed, Ling Ju dare not careless. Begin. I Tianfan gave an order, and Chu Ding disappeared directly. 8 times the gravity. Ling Ju let out a low cry. 8 times the gravity instantly enveloped a radius of 10 meters. Gravity restrained the speed. Ling Ju could only defend against Chu Ding's attack in this way. At the moment when Ling Ju released gravity, he felt a chill in his neck, and looked at him in amazement. Chu Ding had already reached him. 4 sharp alloy claws are less than a few centimeters from his neck. Ling Ju was startled in a cold sweat. Fortunately, he released the gravity in time. Otherwise, Chu Ding's wolf claws would be completely on his neck. It's a great risk. But, I accept this battle. Ling Ju looked at Chu Ding and slowly raised his right hand. Shen Luo Tianzheng. Boom. Struck vigorously, Chu Ding was shot off in an instant, but before he landed, a large amount of osmium flew out of thin air, directly surrounding Chu Ding who was in the air, and then firmly imprisoned in place. You lose. Chapter 77. Unstoppable Tuanyuan, get a place. Was in the air, and his whole body was imprisoned by osmium. Chu Ding struggled, but he couldn't shake the heavy osmium at all, so he could only give in. Gravity is too restrained from the speed ability. Yup. The spectators sighed that Chu Ding's sonic ability was a very buggy ability, but Chu Ding encountered a gravity ability that specifically restrained him. What can I say? The ability of gravity to restrain the speed of sound is one aspect, but Ling Ju's control of gravity is also superb. Jing Biao laughed. Indeed. I Tianfan nodded in agreement, and then walked to the court to announce, Ling Ju vs I Shangcheng in the last competition. Ling Ju, for the sake of fairness, you can choose to take a 2-hour break, or you can immediately compete. Try now. Ling Ju said. Today has been delayed for too long, I will get off work soon. You sure? I Tianfan confirmed. I am sure. Ling Ju nodded. The battle just now was completed in an instant. His genetic powers were not very expensive, and he was completely ready for the next competition. Let's start then. I Tianfan asked I Shangcheng to call out from the lounge next door. The last one. This competition will determine the ownership of the last place. Who will participate in the super training camp? It depends on this one. Ling Ju and I Shangcheng came to the court. I Shangcheng was a shy teenager, looking at his delicate and weak character, but Ling Ju did not dare to underestimate him. The dual power of fire and wind control, and can control special flames with a temperature of up to 5,000 immortal sky flame. This is terrible. You must know that the temperature of the magma is only 1,400 degrees Celsius, and the temperature of the sun's surface is no more than 6,000 degrees Celsius, and the flame of I Shang City has reached 5,000 degrees Celsius. It is conceivable that once touched by this kind of flame, he will definitely be burnt to ashes. Ling Ju dare not be careless. I attacked. I Shangcheng reminded him that a red flame, which was close to white, burst out from his hand. In a short time, a terrifying high temperature radiated. Even after 10 meters, Ling Ju felt a scorching heat. This is the eternal flame. Ling Ju's pupils shrank. Flame spear. I Shangcheng let out a low voice, the red flames condensed into a flame spear, and shot towards Ling Ju like lightning. Shen Luo Tianzheng. Ling Ju spread his right hand. Boom. The gravity around suddenly turned into an outward repulsion, and it greeted the attacking flame spear. The next moment, the flame spear that broke through the air was directly shot out. Looking at the flame spear that was bounced back, I Shengcheng was taken aback for a moment, and said in surprise, "Can gravity be used like this?" Gravity is also a force. Ling Ju explained with a smile. While force includes magnitude and direction of action, I can control gravity, and naturally I can control the magnitude and direction of gravity. Gravity can be downwards, upwards, and of course outwards. That's it. I Shengcheng admired. You are really adept at controlling gravity. However, your gravity may not be able to withstand this next move. As soon as the voice fell, I Shengcheng patted his hands, burning the sky and destroying the world. Boom! A large amount of flames spurted out from his hand, forming an overwhelming sea of fire, pressing against Ling Ju with great strength. The sea of fire burned their faces, and the spectators felt the pain of their cheeks being roasted, and they covered their faces and retreated away. Looking at the ceiling, floor, doors and windows, there are signs of burnt. This bastard. I Tianfan cursed secretly and waved his big hand, a white chill gushing from his hand and enveloped the training room. The ceiling, the floor, the doors and windows, and so on appeared on the surface of a few centimeters thick film of ice, preventing the flame from burning further. Are you planning to violently burn it? Ling Ju's mouth curled slightly. Shen Luo Tianzheng. Boom. The terrifying repulsion broke out again, and the mighty sea of fire was instantly bounced off. Then, the repulsion became gravity again, covering I Shang City. Boom. I Shengcheng was bent over instantly, his face flushed, and he madly resisted the crushing of gravity, but he did not have the physical abilities of Yang Tian. In the end, he was pressed directly on the ground, unable to even stand up. I surrender. After I Shengcheng struggled to no avail, he finally chose to admit defeat unwillingly. The winner is divided. Jing Biao looked at I Tianfan and said with a smile. I guessed the result a long time ago. I Tianfan said helplessly. This kid's gravity also restrains I Shengcheng. Anyway, he won after all. Jing Biao smiled. I Tianfan nodded, with a slight unwillingness on his face. If he could, of course he wanted to give this place to I Shengcheng of their I family. But I Shengcheng failed to win so badly, what can he do? Ling Ju, the last place in the super training camp is yours. I Tianfan walked to the center of the training ground and announced the final result. Thank Mr. I. Ling Ju sincerely thank you. Don't thank me, this is what you won yourself, it has nothing to do with me. I Tianfan waved his hand, then looked around the audience, and said loudly, the test is officially over and the results have been announced. Everyone can go back. Asshole. The last place was snatched by an outsider. Although the spectators were unwilling, they had no choice but to leave the training room. In the end, only Jing Biao, I Tianfan, Ling Ju and I Yuhei remained in the huge training room. Ling Ju, you did not disappoint me. Jing Bao walked to Ling Ju. Tomorrow morning, the three of you will follow me to the super training camp. So fast. Ling Ju was shocked. The super training camp will start the day after tomorrow, and you must report in today. Jing Bao reminded. Okay. Ling Ju nodded helplessly. In this way, his original plan was ruined. There are two of you, please clean up tonight too. Jing Bao looked at I Yuhei and Yang Linger again. Tomorrow morning, follow me with Ling Ju to the super training camp. Yes, teacher Jing Biao. I Yuhei and Yang Linger nodded. It should be, www.mtlnovel.com, you got the other two places. Quote. Ling Ju looked at the two women. Why didn't you hear it before? You didn't ask either. The two women gave a playful smile. Okay. Ling Ju rolled his eyes. There were 3 places in Chang'an Base City, and the other 2 were actually obtained by these 2 people, which he didn't expect. I Yuhei is better to say, why does Yang linger? Her abilities are awesome. Try hard. Jingbao patted Ling Ju on the shoulder again, and then left with I Tianfan. Brother Ling, congratulations. Another person came over. This guy is not someone else, it is I Jiacheng who has pretended to be forceful before him. I Jiacheng has a warm and humble smile on her face. Brother Ling, you are so amazing, even the 4 of them are not your opponents. Ha ha. Ling Ju smiled. Although I Jiacheng had said modestly in front of Wang Chao last time, Ling Ju had no affection for this arrogant second-generation ancestor. It just so happens to be off work, shall we have a meal together? Ling Ju suggested. I Yuhei and Yang Linger haven't answered yet. I Jiacheng immediately echoed, yes, yes. It's time to have a meal together. On the one hand, congratulate Ling Gechi on his victory and get the last place. On the other hand, you are leaving tomorrow, so let's see you off. Then go. Ling Ju and I Jiacheng both said so, and I Yuhei and Yang Ling were not good at objecting. The group left the company, and then came to a high-end restaurant nearby. Brother Ling, you come to order. I Jiacheng, with a pleasing smile on his face, took the initiative to push the menu to Ling Ju. Chapter 78, Space Crack, arrived in Australia. Early the next morning, a group of people left. Was sitting in Jing Biao's magnetic levitation airship. In I Tianfan's words, in this era, there is no safety of Jing Biao's maglev airship on large passenger planes, so let Ling Ju and Jing Biao give him 10,000. Teacher Jing Biao, where is the super training camp? The magnetic levitation airship galloped at high speed, and the four of them chatted while enjoying the scenery passing by the window. Australia. Jingbao explained with a smile. Australia is an independent continent. Before the disaster of the beasts, many unique ancient species lived in the Australian continent. After the outbreak of the fierce beast disaster, Australia, because of its geographical advantage, the evolution of species is far faster than other regions. Now 30 years later, there are countless terrifying beasts living in Australia, and 30 of the top 100 beasts on the list of beasts are entrenched in Australia. Because of the terrifying power of the beasts, Australia has long become a no-man's land, and now it has become one of the few forbidden and dangerous places on the earth, and few people set foot. Teacher Jing Biao, there is a saying that I don't understand, why is the evolution of Australian biology far faster than other regions? Ling Ju was puzzled. That's because Australia has a space crack. Jingbao slowly said, you should know that the genetic powers on the Earth are all overflowing from the cracks in space, right? Ling Ju nodded. It can be said that where there are gaps in space, where the genetic powers are more intense, the biological evolution will naturally be faster. Like a river flowing through the Earth, the water source around the river must be more abundant than other places, and the plants around the river are naturally more vigorous. This is a truth. Australia has a spatial crack. Ling Ju's eyes widened. Not bad. Jingbao nodded and continued. In the early days of the evil beast disaster, the space crack was a symbol of death, disaster, and hell. Because the genetic supernatural overflowing from the cracks in space turns meek animals into fierce demons. Everyone is afraid of the cracks in space like a tiger. But with the rise of supernatural powers, people have gradually discovered that the genetic supernatural powers near the rift in space are far stronger than those in other regions, and the training efficiency is doubled with half the effort. So, people began to use the space cracks to practice. Jingbao smiled and sighed. A total of 81 space cracks have been discovered in the world, and all these 81 space cracks are occupied by major forces. We Pengu occupies a total of 13 spatial cracks, and we have built 13 training holy sites. Australia's super training camp is one of them. That's it. Ling Ju suddenly realized, and another doubt arose in his heart. Teacher Jing Biao, since genetic powers can escape through the space crack, then we can also pass through the space crack. What is the world opposite the space crack? The world opposite the space crack. Hearing this, I Yuhei and Yang Linger also looked at Jing Biao, asking what is the most mysterious place on Earth. Is undoubtedly a space crack. Because of space cracks, genetic abilities have appeared, and the beasts have risen, and human beings have quickly transitioned from the previous technological era to the era of abilities. It can be said that the space rift completely changed the Earth, causing the Earth to completely deviate to another orbit. Therefore, people are naturally curious, what is the world opposite the space crack? For this question, people's discussion has never stopped, and answers and conjectures are endless, but no one has ever given a specific answer. You ask me, who do I ask? Jingbao smiled bitterly. The cracks in space are very unstable. Even the hardest matter on the Earth, once it enters the cracks in space, it will be crushed. In other words, regarding the world opposite the space crack, it is still blank. Yang Linger frowned. Yes, it is blank so far. Jingbao nodded slowly, and immediately changed the conversation, but over the years, our exploration of space cracks has never stopped. Whether it is the governments of various countries or the major supernatural organizations, they have invested a lot of manpower and material resources to study the gap in space. Everyone actually has a speculation in their hearts. The world opposite the space crack must be a treasure. At least, the genetic power is absolutely rich. Indeed. Ling Ju nodded together. The genetic powers that escape through the space crack are so rich, how rich should the world on the other side of the space crack be? Only this point, human beings have enough motivation to explore the space cracks. Maybe one day in the future, when our technology reaches a certain level, or when we are strong enough to resist the strangulation of space cracks, we can pass through the cracks in space and see the opposite world. Jingbao's eyes are burning. I firmly believe that this day will not be too long. Ling Ju nodded, and the pace of human exploration will never stop. Because of the courage to explore, mankind has discovered, invented various cheats, weapons, treasures of heaven and earth, and secrets of supernatural powers in order to survive the war with beasts. As long as human beings continue to make progress, one day they will be able to discover the truth about the cracks in space. Chat all the way fast. More than 3 hours later, a continent was in sight. That's the Australian mainland. Jing Biao smiled. We are almost there. Ling Ju and the others stared at the ever-increasing continent, with expectations in their eyes. 10 minutes later, the airship came over the mainland, then continued to gallop inland, and finally came over a huge fortress. Fortress is called a fortress more accurately. The 100-meter-high concrete city wall firmly protects the entire city in the middle. www.mtlnovel.com. The surface of the city wall is covered with dry blood. Above the city head, groups of soldiers in military uniforms are patrolling back and forth. 5 steps 1 post, 10 steps 1 post. There are blast holes, arrow holes, gun holes on the surface of the city wall, make the entire fortress look like a war weapon. Once a beast approaches, these deadly weapons will transform into a meat grinder, giving a fatal blow to the beasts that dare to invade. Besides, with the fortress as the center, there is scorched earth within a radius of 10 miles. There is no tree. There is no grass. At a glance, the field of vision is extremely wide. If a beast approaches, you can see clearly from a distance. The airship finally landed on a tarmac in the center of the fort. The 4 people got off the airship, and related personnel came up from afar. Teacher Jing, we are back. Smiled and said hello to the brawny black man with dark skin wearing green camouflage. Well, I'm back. Jingbao smiled and patted the brawny black man on the shoulder, and asked, are the other teachers back? Almost all came back. The strong black man replied. That's good. Jingbao nodded slightly, then looked at Ling Ju and others. Let's go, take you to report first, and then settle down. Yes, Teacher Jing Biao. Under the leadership of Jing Biao, the 3 came to the battalion commander's office. In Jing Biao's words, the battalion commander is the highest person in charge of the entire super training camp and one of the company's top executives. He is not lower than the managers of various departments and his strength is unfathomable. Xiao Jing, are you back? Chapter 79. New roommates are treated differently. Met the battalion commander and went through the entry procedures. Ling Ju and the 3 took the entry procedures, received the room number, and then went to their respective rooms. Ling Zhou's room is 308, the door has been opened, and when he walked in, the room was made of special alloy, and the table, chair and bed were also made of alloy casting. In a room of about 40 square meters, there are 2 steel frame alloy beds. The bed is empty and there is nothing. It's really shabby. Ling Ju whispered, not to mention that this room is not comparable to the single-family villa assigned to him by the company, even his magnetic levitation airship. Tangtang Super Training Camp. Let this genius live in such a place. Just when Ling Ju was secretly complaining, a delicate young man walked out of the bathroom. He was holding a basin and seemed to be scrubbing the bed. You are my roommate, right? Seeing Ling Ju, the delicate young boy brightened his eyes and greeted enthusiastically. I'm 308 too. Ling Ju replied with a smile. The boy wore a pair of black sunglasses to block the eyes below, but the exposed face looked very pretty. Hello, my name is Shi Gang, I am from Yangzhou Base City. The delicate young man introduced himself. Take care of you in the future. Ling Ju smiled faintly. My name is Ling Ju from Lanshan Base City. Chatted with Shi Gang for a while. Ling Ju began to pack things. He has not slept since the awakening ability. Bed sheets and bedding are not needed, only need to pack towels, toothbrushes, facial cleanser and other cleaning supplies. Everything was cleaned up. It was noon. Shi Gang invited Ling Ju to have lunch, but Ling Ju did not refuse. But when I went there, I called Ai Yuhei and Yang Ling Er. The four of them came to the cafeteria and saw other students. Are basically teenagers of their age. There are yellow people, white people, black people, and of course brown people. Even Ling Ju saw the Japanese. Japanese. Ling Ju was stunned, and could not help but recall the description of Japan on the internet. 30 years ago, when the fierce beasts invaded, a space crack appeared in Japan, which caused the fierce beasts on the island of Japan and the nearby waters to evolve wildly. In the end, the death of Japanese citizens, the escape of escape, the immigration of immigrants. Within 10 years, Japan was completely subjugated, and only a small number of Japanese who fled to the rest of the world survived. It is really strange to see Japanese people here. A short day ends soon. Early the next morning. A rapid siren sounded throughout the fortress, and then a loud horn sounded. All students, immediately gather at the central square. Gathered. Quick. Go down. Not long after, all the students left the dormitory and came to the central square. The entire fortress is a hollow cylindrical shape. The dormitories, canteens and other buildings are all located on the outer layer, and the center is a huge and empty square. This is the central square. At this moment, there were many people standing on the central square. In addition to the battalion commander, teacher Jing Biao and others, there were also many existences exuding a sense of terror. Call the name first. After the roll call, the battalion commander delivered a speech. The battalion commander is a gray-haired but energetic old man. Today, he wore a military uniform and jumped upright, standing in place like a javelin, full of iron and blood. You are the top geniuses from all over the world. You are the best among the younger generation in your base city. I am glad to see you. The battalion commander changed the conversation and said coldly, but what I want to tell you next is that when you get here, you are nothing, because everyone in the training camp is better than you. So, you can't relax. Only by working hard and squeezing every potential can you enjoy the best treatment and the highest quality resources. Quote. Next, we will set up a leaderboard for you as usual. Battalion commander pointed to a giant screen standing in the center of the central square. The higher your ranking on the leaderboard, it proves that you are stronger, harder and harder, and the treatment you enjoy will naturally be better. The 200 students all looked at the giant screen on the central square. At this time, the screen was blank, and no name was on the list. The rankings are changed once a week. www.mtlnovel.com. All the top players can get rich rewards. How to reward them? Anyone who ranks in the top 30 can get a low-level life enhancement liquid and a low-level genetic power enhancement liquid every week. Anyone who ranks in the top 10 can get an intermediate life enhancement solution and an intermediate genetic power enhancement solution every week. The top 3 players can get a high-level life enhancement liquid and a high-level genetic power enhancement liquid every week. What? Everyone was shocked. Life Enhancer liquid can strengthen the body, vitality, and cell activity, and is an excellent treasure to increase physical strength. Genetic Power Enhancer liquid can enhance genetic power and enhance internal power, which is similar to the effect of Snow Mountain Gentian. The two medicines have the same value, the low, medium and high are 1 billion, 5 billion, and 10 billion respectively. It can be seen from the price, how big the gap is between the low, medium, and high-level life enhancement liquid and the low, medium, and high-level genetic power enhancement liquid. In fact, the effect of the low, medium, and high-level life enhancement liquids and the low, medium, and high-level genetic power enhancement liquids are indeed very different. If I can get an advanced life enhancement liquid and advanced genetic power enhancement liquid every week, how fast can I practice? Ling Ju thought silently, and everyone was thinking so too. High ranking, good treatment. This is one of them. The battalion commander continued. Second, the higher the ranking, the better the cultivation environment you can enjoy. You may not know that the gap in space lies under our feet, and there is a constant flow of genetic powers overflowing every moment. Come out. What? The space crack is under your feet. Chapter 80. Cruel System, Free Part-Time Work. Everyone was surprised. Although I knew that there was a spatial crack in Australia, I never expected that the spatial crack was just below my feet. Are we standing on a crack in space? Aren't they falling down? Everyone feels fuzzy. It's a space crack. What if it falls? The space cracks under the feet are overflowing with genetic abilities all the time, so the genetic abilities around the space cracks are very rich. Rich. How can I not feel it? Ling Ju complained. The reason why you can't feel the obvious genetic power changes is because the genetic powers overflowing from the gap in space have been gathered by us. The battalion commander explained. Then we built a training room under our feet, which is the famous training room in the training camp, the 12 underground rooms. 12 rooms underground. Everyone held their breath. The 12 underground rooms are located above the cracks in the space. They are divided into 4 floors, with 3 training rooms on each floor, a total of 12 training rooms. Only 12 training rooms. The students looked at each other. There were a total of 200 students in the training camp and only 12 training rooms. How could that be enough? To everyone's question, the battalion commander quickly gave the answer. Why are there only 12 training rooms? This is to avoid mutual interference. Everyone knows that our genetic power secret technique can plunder a kilometer, or even 10,000 meters of genetic power. If the training room is too close, it is easy to cause interference. Therefore, there should be at least 10,000 meters between the training rooms. Because the gap is too large, only 12 training rooms can be built. That's it. Everyone suddenly. Secondly, from the first level, to the second level, to the third level, to the last fourth level, the genetic powers decrease sequentially, that is to say. Battalion commander continued. The first level has the strongest genetic powers, the second level, and the fourth level the lowest. The concentration is about 1,110. 10 times the difference. 10 times the difference. Is a bit big. Everyone swallowed. The 12 rooms under the ground are prepared for you, to be precise, for the students who perform well. Battalion commander looked around at everyone. The top 3 have the right to use the training room on the first floor. The top 6 can use the training room on the second floor. The top 9 can use the 3 training rooms on the third floor. As for the 3 training rooms on the fourth floor, the top 50 students share it. Share. Everyone was taken aback. How to share method. According to your ranking before and after the rankings, use them one after the other, each person uses 1 hour. Where are the students after 50? Someone repeatedly asked. The students after 50 are not eligible to use the 12 underground rooms, so just stay in the dormitory and absorb it slowly. My grass. This is too unfair. All are in an uproar. 1, 2, 3 people use the first layer. 4, 5, 6 people use the second layer. 7 or 89 people use the third layer. The first 50 people share the fourth floor. The students after are not even qualified to use the 12 underground chambers. This treatment is unacceptable. Can't accept it, right? Looking at the students in an uproar, the battalion commander looked indifferent. Since you can't accept it, then work hard. Remember, the super training camp only nurtures elites and top powerhouses, not a place where messes around. A word. The better the performance, the better the resources they occupy, the higher the ranking, the more benefits they enjoy. Don't want to be left far behind. If you don't want the gap with others to get bigger and bigger, then work hard. Only by working hard can we get the best treatment and the best resources. Everyone clenched their fists secretly, and there was a biting war intent in their eyes. They are all top geniuses. No one thinks they are worse than others. They believe that as long as they work hard, they will get what they want. Looked around at everyone's eyes, the battalion commander was very satisfied. All present were geniuses. As long as everyone's enthusiasm is mobilized, there is no need to worry about competition. The big waves are scouring the sand, and I see gold. Only the strong who emerged from the cruel competition are the most powerful. Commander, what is the ranking of the ranking? Someone asked loudly. Others listened upright. After all this, the key to everything is the ranking. I will talk about this later. The commander of the battalion smiled faintly. I mentioned the ranking issue above, let's talk about the specific training arrangements. There are only 2 training programs in our super training camp, genetic power training and actual combat training. Genetic power is our internal force. Without genetic power, we can't perform power. If genetic power is not enough, we can't fight forever. So, the cultivation of genetic powers is the most important thing. As for actual combat, no need to say more. As an ability player, if you don't have actual combat ability, you are not a qualified ability player. So, the specific arrangement is this. Every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for genetic power training, location, underground 12 rooms and dormitories. Thursday, Friday, Saturday for actual combat practice, location, outdoor. Outside. Everyone shuddered. In this era, our duty is to hunt down the beasts, so our actual combat is to hunt down the beasts. The battalion commander looked around at everyone. On the Australian continent outside the fort, there are countless beasts living in them, from the weakest first-degree beasts to the beast kings and beast kings on the list of beasts. Everything. Your actual combat content is to go to the wilderness area every Thursday morning, hunt the beasts in the wilderness area, and then bring back the dead beasts and hand them to the logistics department before 6 p.m. on Saturday. The logistics department will count the beasts you have hunted based on the level and strength of the beasts you have hunted, and then give the results. This result is the basis for the ranking. The higher the score, the higher the ranking on the leaderboard. The worse the score, the lower the ranking on the leaderboard. That is to say, your ranking on the leaderboard is determined by your actual results from Thursday to Saturday, and the ranking will determine your treatment. Everyone held their breath and quickly digested the information they had just received. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, practice genetic powers. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, go to the wilderness area for actual combat. The more beasts hunted, the higher the level of the beasts. www.mtlnovel.com. The higher the score obtained, the higher the final ranking. Ranking. Determine the treatment. Life enhancement liquid. Gene power enhancement fluid. The use of 12 rooms underground. This kind of competition, Chiguo. If you want to get the best treatment, you have to work hard, not only to practice hard, but also to hunt down the beasts, all the time. Battalion commander, I have a question. A white guy suddenly raised his hand. You said. Chief Battalion said lightly. Should the fierce beasts we hunted be handed over to the logistics department for a fee or for free? The white guy asked. This question also asked everyone's feelings. In the past, in the base city, they could make a lot of money by hunting the beasts, and they also made a lot of money by hunting the beasts. So, can the beasts hunted after coming to the training camp continue to make money? Ha ha. The battalion commander shook his head and smiled. Tell you a cruel fact. Do you know how the life enhancement solution and genetic power enhancement solution that we award to the top 30 trainees every week, as well as the funds needed to maintain the training operation, come from? Everyone was stunned. It was earned by selling the dead beasts you hunted. So, don't ask similar silly things. All the fierce beasts you hunted in actual combat will be handed over to the logistics department free of charge, and the logistics department will not give you a penny. The only thing I can give you is a simple score. If you can't accept it, you can quit the super training camp now. I believe no one will stop you. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiobook to stay updated with our latest stories, and never miss out on a great listen.